Wonder Twin powers activate.
And we ain't wonder twinning in this bitch. So I'm gonna
Form
get started.
of. Oh, sorry.
So we're getting started in 3, 2, 1.
Wazap.
Damn. He timed that pretty good.
I
I was
did.
about to start it and he got in front of me. Okay, all right. Hello. Welcome to Reign number 66 and 2/3.
0.6.
66.6 repeating.
Oh no.
Before I do anything else, reminder, this episode is brought to you by our patrons, where if you want to get the normal 66, support us on Patreon. But our patrons like Adam Sharp, Alexa G, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, JDV, Nathan, Starlight, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, and Sjorberg. I read that really fast because I didn't want to cough in the middle of it. Like that.
He coughed at the end of it.
Yeah, it's because I exhaled. Yes, I am. All of a sudden, I am still feeling a little sick, but I medicated myself. I took over-the-counter Dergs a little before starting, so everything should be kicked in. Now, so we're not posting that last one normally, anyway, because I just the best way to say it was the gas leak episode. And lost focus. I think I reported this to you, Lucky, that when I did truncate silence on the audio edit, which I did not edit that audio a lot last time for reasons, shaved it down to like 4 hours out of like 440 or something. Like shaved out a whole 40 minutes of just silence.
There might have been only one time where it feels like like there's a weird jump cut.
You may or may not notice because the compression.
Fair.
Because truncate silence just squishes them down. But yeah, so I grossly reduced pauses down a lot, and so may have shaved 40 minutes out of it. So got a little lost in the sauce at the end there. So that's the part where we want to kind of refactor and recoup our lost time, basically. But that does mean we want to recap stuff that we're not redoing, because there was some things earlier in the session and in the day that we don't want to do over again because it was mostly RP stuff. So Inos did sit down with Sidwell Cowrie and, play matchmaker a little, do his little matchmaker interview. All in all, went pretty good. You learned some things about young Sid, and you gotta go forward with the strategy. Now you gotta tell Lucy about it, so keep that one in your hat.
Yep.
Put it in your pocket.
I have many pockets.
And Nicola, had over the character name for a second there, almost said Dallas, but Nicola finally had his on-screen meeting with Prince Menace. They had some back and forth there, and something about tea and the whatnot, exchanging of snack cakes or whatever. The main thing to be gained from that for the role-playing back and forth is, he talked a little about what he's doing as the Minister of Antiquity. So what his office is officially focused on right now is the history of the White Wardens, which used to be the magical version of the Blood Shields. He personally is interested in the studying of the Moon Runes.
Yes.
But
Nicola found out he was less sinister background figure and more angsty nerd.
you keep telling yourself that.
In your opinion.
Nicola,
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying not sinister. I'm just saying he is also an angsty nerd.
I guess both are true. Or both can be true.
Well, we can continue to build character relations. And honestly, now that I do that part of the recapping, I'm like, man, I mean, it's fun, but roleplay does take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because that was probably the first, hour and a half was all that. So, that said, that takes us to... Yeah, I'm casting my memory back. But yeah, I think that's it. Was there any other... No, because you wanted to get the Fogvale meeting done pretty lickety split, so I don't think there was a lot of other sequences. So that brings us back to Operation Fogvale. You guys setting kind of policy and tone for what you want to do with the Fogvale ahead of the King's Curio to try and make sure you got some stuff. And there was a decent amount of things discussed, and there was some plans made, some of which I think we're going to revisit and possibly rediscuss. The main thing I want to double check with you guys is because we did last game session, we were all here. The question was asked, and the Marquess seemed committed, and most of the team seemed on board with earmarking your funds to build a coastal sea fort along your coastal border closest to the Fog Veil. Bookmarking the funds for that, and spending the money to not purchase, but to refurbish the 2 border forts for checkpoints.
Mm-hmm. Actually, something else that I thought of while we were doing this. Remember how we were talking about how we have to lease the land from the Fog Veil, in order so we can build on it. We'll probably be leasing like the area outside the Shadow Pass, so the fort, probably the intervening farmlands and Spartus. What if we did the company action and gave the Fog Veil a loan to signify that?
Could work.
That could work. Yeah, they do have company stats.
It should probably be a protected.
So you could...
what am I talking about?
You don't need to get too much.
I was thinking of loans in a real world term, but I'm like, it should probably be a protected, non-predatory loan. We don't need to go into that.
Yeah, no, we don't. It's just, but like, I think that would be a good way to signify that we are paying them for use of the land. But it also means that while we're doing that, we're always going to be deemed one wealth. So
yeah, basically to recap for everybody, because you guys are under the effect of a loan. The way get a loan works is one company can just give a point of their wealth temporarily to another company. Their wealth stat goes down by 1. The other team's wealth stat goes up by 1. Usually, I think you take loans in 1-to-1 just to keep it simple in the system.
Yeah.
And then when the loan is due, the other guy has to pay you back, or else.
Yes. Sorry, is this one of those things I was thinking about throughout the week of stuff, so I did want to bring that up.
That is a pretty good mechanical way to do it. We will probably not actually move the point of wealth until you have your plan to discuss with the Fog Veil for actually paying them.
Yes.
But that's good to jot down. Because like I said, they do have company stats, so I could actually do that in the notes. I can, lower your treasure by 1.
I just think about some of the prophecies, so like some of their like sanctuaries can like collude more.
Well, it's just they give them the treasure so that they have money. They don't have money.
Yeah.
They don't have money. They have treasure as a mechanical abstract. They do not have currency.
Fair.
So,
do we still remember the checkpoint? Because I think we all agreed on that.
I think this is what we're going to talk about abstract. I don't think we need to get super crazy on the details of the checkpoint. It'll be a checkpoint in which, we will vet and clear people to go through the Shadow Pass. We do not necessarily need to worry about the details on it further than that. We will use the fortified tower, I believe it was.
Yeah, you got to watch for it.
Yeah. We'll use the fortified
we could
tower.
buy a few of those. Yeah.
God, it was a while away. Yeah, no. Like I said, we I'm just asking you if you're still okay moving the money. The money to build forts is good. We already budgeted it last time. It's just because we do want to double check, because I'm scrolling a million miles. I know Aren posted what Conrad's original outline for what's the word phrase?
I liked it, so
let's call it the plan. It's just like a scheduling a schedule for
Schedule's
goals and like lightning allowing access into the Fog Veil at certain checkpoints, stuff like that.
Let me go dig it up one moment, because it's like I think
I was scrolling back.
85% of it.
We've been talking all fucking week about everything, so like again, it is also very general, but it's a good enough detail that I wanted to bring up, because I said before we were going back in time, I originally planned on kind of like, well, several things as leaving the meeting, one of which I think will still happen as the meeting is left. We'll go back to that. But I was going to have Aunt Ebel twing on Konrad, maybe leaving some things unsaid. I think she would probably still make sure to go around and make sure everybody's got their idea hats on, because as the seneschal, it is her part to make sure this thing operates smoothly. And the hindsight's 2020 stuff. The in character bit I wanted to bring up is that just to remind the audience and the players, Yibel is the youngest sister of 3. She is used to also being kind of like lower on the authority than her 2 older brothers were, but also, used to telling them when they're being stupid. Not that I think Leslok was actually being dumb in the meeting, but definitely, I think that's part of the point she wanted to I was going to bring up to Konrad originally, but they may or may not talk after the meeting. We'll see where we're at. But just if you ever need an ear, you can tell good old Aunt Yibel, and you shouldn't be afraid to occasionally interrupt the Marquess, because even if he's the Marquess, he's still your brother. But okay, so Konrad has a general plan. Actually, this is a good question for in-character stuff, especially if we do need to dig it up. Has everybody looked at the plan?
I do, and I don't think I had any issues with it, but again, I'm not necessarily worrying about military and security matters, so whatever Konrad thinks will best work, I'm gonna be for it.
Yeah, Nicola is kind of in the same boat. He doesn't have, he has obviously anxieties and worries about just about everything we're doing, but he's also not an expert on this kind of operation, so he will handle the stuff he knows how to, which is sick people.
Yeah.
Very notably, Konrad's plan does not take into any account any sort of medical or things, because he doesn't know about that stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will likely be working alongside Konrad in terms of organizing quarantine, health checkups and such. But I don't see that plan interfering with anything.
Yeah.
I'm planning on doing myself.
Konrad is definitely, when is presenting this, is not presenting this as this is how it should go. This is as a framework that we can expand upon as needed, and specific goals that we can work towards.
I guess my big question though would be, would aid workers be considered non-civilians?
Ooh, a good question.
Doctor, because
philosophical question.
If that's the case, then I think they should also be allowed in the first phase, just because we really need aid, just to that. But
I believe you are planning still, and this is talking about actually making sure we're asking all the questions. I believe we're still planning on asking the royal physician and her department for this support. So they are. Yeah. That would be, what did I call it? They're crown officers is not exactly the word I had in mind, but you know what I mean when I say that. They are, crown employees. So
it's the thing. They're not civilians, but they're also not civilians.
It's weird. Something I thought about after I had written it up is when I say authorized expedition, that would be authorized by either the crown or the viceroy.
Gotcha. Okay. So then I would have no issues, because it's just because once again, Nicola's starting a recruitment drive and training for people in Teine. Those people are not experienced enough or trained enough in epidemiology to handle this.
Yeah, that's more you're working on ensuring your at-home doctory.
Mm-hmm. Now, and if something happens to Nicola, that our entire country won't suddenly have the plague.
Yeah, the sea stuff seems pretty good. That'll be, obviously, you'll want to talk with the Lady Admiral about that, but you're planning on that anyway.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about all the stuff I wrote down a week or so ago.
Yeah, I did also. I do. There, you have a couple of points I want to go back to as well.
Yeah, because I feel because covered those or not, but I'll try.
I think part of the reason why also that did get stymied last time is also that this meeting we're in this meeting right now currently is a closed house Logi meeting with a little bit of help, and I know that some of you were thinking, not I say some of you because it was not just Access Leslok, but also Nicola raised this question in the original session of like if the Lady Admiral was be there or not. There was some thinking about involving the other high houses or King's Council members in this discussion. And when Inos did pitch this meeting and as Master of Ceremonies officiated, he explicitly wanted to leave that out of the first meeting.
Well,
Which I think
no, I
we're
understand.
sticking to.
I just had in
That's
mind
just saying that's
yeah,
discussion that did happen in the last session that we should also remind both the players and a prospective audience about.
Yes.
Yeah, phase 1 is basically just to summarize, keep it tight until you guys remove the Ivory Corsairs, so that you don't have to worry about piracy and kidnapping. Phase 2, you open up other stuff, talking about the licensing, increase various levels.
Yeah, and obviously as we get to phase 3 and phase 4, like more stuff will probably be added there as we get closer to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think everybody here, if polled, I'll let the players jump in, but I definitely think all of your counselors to the Marquess would agree with the general idea of like, what counts as authorized, couriers, caravans delivering aid, cartographers, including medical personnel in the aid trains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys will already did talk about, so we'll remind everybody that the plan was to work on getting their currency and to start hiring guides. There was discussion that you'd probably have to pick and choose from various war bands of the Vanguard at first. Maybe grab some shepherds and other foragers, but Neil did say that they would be open to the possibility and that you could be able to use a mix of both barter economy and coin. Basically, like, the question of coin is like, you guys have been talking with young Niall for a couple of months. He understands, well, I should say, he probably, as a historian, as a bard of the team, he probably already understood the historical concept of coin, because I'm sure that comes up in the histories a lot. But he understands how, like, the denominations and how you guys use currency and what the daily value of a pen mark is, sort of a thing, and is pretty sure that his people will, so long as they can be guaranteed that they can exchange them back again for goods and services in turn, which you guys are guaranteeing, they'll take payment in coin. That should be a relatively painless process. So I guess that means that I want to jump back to some of the stuff that Axe did write down last session, like I said. All of this with, like, talking about authorized personnel and who's being authorized, and later phase 2 in the licensing. So the idea of the Grand Company, that we did not really actually get to discussing last time, along with, discussing actually what you're going to do about the Ivory Corsairs, is primarily, I should say, the Viceroy. But if anybody had any objections to the Viceroy's approval of the idea of a Grand Company, of the Fogvale expedition, the Fogvale project, now is probably a time to raise it. And basically, the idea originally was a Grand Company, an expeditionary company, as like a officially recognized group, an authorizing body under the Viceroy that could actually have the power we discussed to license and approve travelers to the Fogvale for various operations, and serve as, the administrative body that we are talking about, basically.
Konrad would agree with that.
Right.
Gotta have some sort of authority,
there's
authority
no
and
objections.
guidance going.
Would we? And my only question is would we have like the authority to form such a thing, and would we be stepping on anyone's toes if we did so?
No, we talked about this before. The Viceroy should have that power as the Viceroy to, like, he's like, all right, I'm the Viceroy. The king has given me not unlimited power, but,
impunity,
broad, vaguely defined powers to fix the Fogvale. I say what we need to fix the Fogvale is I need a bureaucracy.
I need someone to, like, I need other people that are, like, I need to make other people that like need to have their eyes on this at all times because I can't.
Yes, yeah. You wanna bureaucratize, you wanna delegate. So yes, that should be fine. Now,
I want to make one of you a part of it, but I feel like that's maybe not. I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Could always give Marissa.
Well, that's true. You can invite her. You guys have already
Sure.
previously discussed the idea of making it so that after a year or two of your term, you have her become the viceroy. Anyway, we will continue to discuss that one. Narissa also, by the way, is president of this meeting. She's.
Yeah.
I know. Yes.
Enos did make sure to bring her in, but I want to remind everybody.
Okay, they're locked.
I was laughing at what you said in chat.
I need to double check what are all the things everyone's in charge of right now.
Okay. You did, yeah. I think if to answer Enos as well, asking for stepping on anybody's toes. One of the lines in Axe's plan about this was to ask the Lord Marshal about, designing the system of the Grand Company. He is the Lord Marshal of the Constables, so like he could probably provide you with legal documentations for any similar projects that could follow that framework. And at the very least, he's the guy who sets the standards for when you're hiring, crown agents, crown constables and stuff. So if you run this plan by him and make sure that everything seems normal, that should be pretty easy and will not step on anybody's toes. You said you feel you need to collaborate with House Ake on making the proper borders. I don't. The parentheticals already happened. I did already update the Norlon map. You guys are going to be probably resurveying that map to make sure your borders. By the way, on the pinned zone, if you're curious, the border point that House A has talked about reopening is Castle Polari.
Okay.
That's the primary domain of House McCrag, and that is the
That's pretty close
most
to Mother's
open
Tears.
valley directly between the Fog Vale and Crag.
I'm just trying to see where Polari is.
It's that valley goes very close to Mother's Tears.
Yeah, no. It's not a great route right now, but you'll notice I deliberately designed some gaps in those mountains. The other ways to go from Fog Vale to Crag are to go through the heart of the mountain, which is a lot more feistier.
Feels like there's a thing. It feels like there's a way through the Dragon's Eye, but that feels complicated there.
Well, that would probably be the hidden staircase you guys have heard about. I also do actually. I should say this as well. I should remind you. Castle Vetnir, which is currently under the dominion of your Aunt Evel, that is a mountain castle that guards the lower reaches of mountain passes that once upon a time went through the mountains, over the mountains into the Fog Vale.
Fair.
So you also have over mountain passes there. I said rasses because I think I combined pass and route, but that means you're going hiking because they are not roads.
Something to survey later.
Yeah. The Shadow Pass was a mountain cut pass that was at relatively easy ground level for you to go through. So yeah.
We can just ask Louis Labyrinth to become a tunnel.
You could try that.
I guess we could ask the Silver Tower people to get on board to see that's doable.
He's joking, yes, but it's
Problem is, I think Leslok would think about it at least for a minute.
Speaking of borders, though, Inos would be somewhat insistent that we figure out where the old Iron Demon settlements were, and
that should be the. I did not mark it originally because obviously they were gone, but those should be either
Irontown.
Well, Irontown was one of them. That was a trade hub that was like a. I think I described it as basically Iron Demon halts below, and then a village of the Fog Veilers and Giants on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's full of ghosts.
Obviously, that trade relationship broke down pretty fast.
No, you don't
and the Iron Demons retreated. But that would be, if you wanted to reclaim the old mines, that would be something you'd have to talk about those guys.
Yeah.
At least no one
I
blew
think
their top over.
The Holt that was raided is probably actually across that valley from the Dragon's Eye on the Mother's Tears side.
Oh yeah, I figured as much.
And I could figure out exactly where that is. But yeah, that would be something to negotiate for. But again, that's something that you guys have some wiggle room on, because I don't think anybody really wants to... But I think like if I'm looking at it, I'm eyeballing it. I think basically like a fifth of the fog veil is like a no-go zone right now. Because just like Mother's Tears up is just fucked.
Is there
Yeah.
is there anything about that valley, like between where Dragon's Eye is and where the old hold used to be, that's noticeable? Is there just a valley, or is that where the swamp is?
No, this I probably should have drawn it on there, but you haven't seen it physically. The swamp would probably be in the space between where Verdant Sepulchre is the Runewood, so it would be between the Runewood and the volcano. The valley should be fine and open, though it's closer to Mother's Tears. So there's around Mother's Tears is like the blasted heath now.
The Lydia
but that space should be open. That was that was actually like lowlands and tiered farmland that used to belong to House Urn. Those guys were defeated by the Norlan Alliance.
Just to
basically,
clarify.
if you want to picture it this way. The Norlan Alliance basically did like a pincher, possibly a three-way through Castle Polari, but basically came up through the mountain passes like behind Dragon's Eye and behind Mount Vatnir and through the Shadow Pass up, met across from Torknock, and did not... There's a river there that I should draw that river. I'll get back to it later. But there should be actually, I don't know if that river's there anymore because I think that river would flow across that plain from the Mother's Tears side, actually. I'll decide later if that river is still there. But there was supposed to be a river cut basically there. The Battle of Stone Fools did not get across that river. The forces were blocked on that plain. And the Iron Demon said, hey, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck your horse. Fuck your mountain. We're going home. Blowing it all up.
Here you guys. I'm going home.
And they blew up the mountain. And again, the mountain has continued to brew and blow since then. And I would guess there's probably a strong east-west wind coming off those mountains.
I'm thinking about...
Especially if it kind of comes down from the north and then kind of is redirected. Possibly a very cold
Well, yeah,
wind.
that is actually canon. That the Fog Veil is the smallest, but had some of the best farmland because that's all rain shadow, baby. They are all inside the rain zone.
I didn't think about
Technically,
it,
Teine is on the drier side of those mountains.
Teine technically, yeah. I guess Norlan had like technically has the most land, but I think it's also like a bit more, I guess, divided up a bit more. Apparently.
You guys, I mean, you're the March, so you're supposed to be the biggest, but you're the longest stretch, and your the western side is the slowest to develop. Okay, all right. So let's see. Yeah, we already talked about the borders. You did discuss last time what you want to do to expand the proper routes, so I think everybody's on board with the general plan to expand the Fog Veil. Or not the Fog Veil, the Shadow Pass. You know, you are ready to get a multinational team on board. And as part of that process, it was suggested that you put in some minecarts. Possibly, if you can fund them, some of the professor's spring-driven self-propelled minecarts. So nobody has to sit there and you know, do the... We didn't talk about this last time, but I'm thinking now, you know, the fucking video game joke of the push cart.
Ah, yes.
Oh, God.
Pumping up and down shit. You don't have to do that if you get the self-propelled carts. Because it's pumping or counterweights.
I did want to clarify when we're doing this tunnel. It's like, are we only gonna have the steam power cart as modern transportation, or is there gonna be enough space for like people and wagons to move on their own power?
Oh, there'll be two lanes. There'll be the cart lane and then the person lane, or I guess the people in those.
I believe that is what we discussed last time. Yes, it was suggested that the cart would be in addition to the on foot route. So yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yeah. No, that would be because you were consulting with like Lord Wayland and stuff on that. That would probably be the default because like you need to at least leave room for miners to get around the cart because what happens if the cart, you know, falls off the track or something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do when the cart splits. So yes. All right.
That probably
then I think a lot of the
leads directly into the Ivory Corsairs. So
yeah, I was going to say that is our next open-ended question. I think we're still sticking with something we did decide last session, but I don't know if the Marquess wants to put a formal point on it of putting Logesh at the spearhead of that.
Hello.
No, I think it should just be made. Point is made, and then I guess it leads to him to like decide how he will handle most of it, at least technically.
They are criminals. They're bad men, bad people. Yep. All right. So you. Sorry, I'm not. It's not saying this is like a question. This is me. This is me saying for the home. So yes, the Marquess confirms Logesh Logi is in charge of the operation. While you've got everybody at the meeting, Logesh, is there any questions you want to start asking these people now, or are we going to work on that later? You are in the middle of Summer Court.
I think the base question would be, do we want to try to reform these people, or should we just execute the king's law upon them?
Inos,
if we do take them in, as in like capture them, will we have the space and resources?
Well,
it's really going to depend on what you're dealing with.
Right. Go ahead, Inos.
I mean,
it's like from what we understood of the intel that we got beforehand, we understand that the Ivy Raiders have a lot of people. And generally, it is Enos' understanding that trying to take out someone without killing them generally makes the effort 2 to 3 times harder. And so, Enos asks, Logesh is if he is willing to lose 2 to 3 times more people in order to try and keep these people alive.
That is a tough moral quandary, but if it's our own people versus theirs...
It's like... sorry. I'll let you finish your
thought.
No,
that's fair. I did pause. You go.
Okay. It's like I said, I don't think there's any wrong with taking prisoners of those who surrender. Like I said, as that is, right and just. But Inos does not believe that these people would necessarily have the same idea of mercy as us, and therefore we should not give it to them accordingly.
Okay.
I just posted in the chat to remind everybody that officially piracy and other like serious crimes like slavery would be officially no quarter.
Yeah.
This is why the Lady Admiral has been having intelligence problems with the Pirate Brotherhood. Is she's not technically supposed to be stopping to ask those guys any questions.
Nicola will be of a similar opinion, and while he is very open most times, these people are slavers. They deal in flesh. I don't see the point in giving them mercy.
No. Generally,
I'm
people
also meant like mercy to the slaves, but yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're not
going to execute the slaves.
We're not Bartholomew Roberts. We're not just going to set a slave ship on fire because lulz.
No, we will save.
Well, I mean, listen, talking about minimizing your losses, technically, if we were absolutely trying to minimize your side's losses, you could just go, fuck it, we firebomb them. Never mind the slaves they have as human shields, but that's a tactical decision we can work on later. From a legal standpoint, any people who are unjustly held by these guys would be citizens of the Fogvale. They are technically still under the protection of the King's law, because, like I said,
don't know if
the Fogvale's in a weird space where the previous High King agreed with the assessment of Ake and Logi to close the borders. It was not formally given away, so they're all still citizens of the King's law.
I think the aftermath.
They just, they live there.
It's also worth noting we don't know if all the slaves they've captured are necessarily citizens of the Crown or citizens of the Fogvale.
No,
there could be other Crown or citizens there.
No, that is like what we happened over at Svardaspor. Their Bloody Brad did just have dudes from.
Okay, so what I'm getting at, or what I'm feeling the vibe of this is, no mercy. Take any prisoners if they surrender. Otherwise, and then they'll be judged at a later date. But otherwise, just plain sweep.
Yeah, processing them all is a whole other thing.
I mean, hung at a later date.
Yeah, that's probably how it goes. Because everybody did jump in, but if you were asking earlier, Lothgesh, Loth/Logesh, you don't need to send these guys a formal declaration of war or anything. No, they are.
Oh no.
They are criminals. It's we're getting them.
No.
Actually,
You might,
Chasing
if you
after
want to
them
be
like
very
this.
polite and honorable, send them a nice herald, a nice note ahead of time to be like, "Hello, we are the duly appointed, officers of the Viceroy of the Fog Vale, servants of the High King. Make your peace."
We're gonna get
Surrender
them.
now. Surrender now, or please accept your fate.
But out of curiosity, Inos will turn to young Neil and ask um if the people of the Fog Vale were in such a situation, what would they have done with the Ivory Raiders?
Nah, Neil's gonna be straight with you. They
Murder.
have a word in their dialect for kinslayer. They are kinslayers and blood traders. That would be they. We've talked about this, right? The Fog Vale only seize, take, kill when absolutely necessary. These guys are the worst of the worst to them. They are like, these guys are our own kin, but they're still stepping on us to get ahead. They hate their guts. That would be
I would say the only exceptions.
put to the sword, the whole of them.
Just something I just realized. These people have been living separate from the rest of the Fog Veilers for a while, right?
Yeah, they're on an island.
Okay, so the only exception would be any children. We probably should take any children captive. How does that work? Like, if I'm saying if the Ivory Raiders have children, not obviously we're going to save the child slaves. But
It's a thing. It's an aftermath thing we'll have to worry about when we get there.
Honestly, yes. I don't think we can necessarily plan. Because I think,
Yeah.
like, mechanically, our goal is to basically destroy the company. Break it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that should probably be our first foremost goal. We can probably... Honestly, I don't think we actually have to think too hard about the aftermath either.
Because I will point out also, like, we won't be the only company attacking them.
No.
At least one or two others.
Like I said, the
First, I
Admiral
thought
has
we were going
a
to ask Neil if he would, if the
Oh no,
the Fog Veil would contribute to the operation. Which hell yeah.
We
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
brought
brother.
it. We haven't brought it up now, but I remember we brought it up when we were in the Fog Veil last, and we learned a little bit about the Ivory Ravers. If the Fog Veilers would be interested in a op against them.
Oh yeah, the Hidden Valley director.
They just don't have the logistics to counterattack because they have they don't have the space for a shipmaking industry.
Yeah.
So they do not have access to anything larger than rowboats, basically.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. I forgot his name.
I just remembered a thing I need to think about.
Let me see.
Was it like it wasn't Niana? What was the second captain that we got before we got to the Fog Veil? Was the one?
He should be there. One second.
Cool name.
Was it Captain Novak?
Guy name. No. Kovac.
Kovac.
Right.
Yeah.
Like wasn't his ship like a pear-shaped transport ship?
The Rebecca, I believe. Let me see.
Wasn't it one that had like had a flatter bottom, pear shape for holding more cargo or people?
That's the windlass was a flute, which was more pear shaped.
Oh, the windlass was pear shaped. Okay.
Yes. The Rebecca is a 2-mast square sailed brig.
Oh, it's a brig.
About 75 feet long. It has enough hold to serve as a armed merchantman, which is what I think you last told Kovac to work on.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
But yes,
Then...
he is armed with carronades and chase guns.
Well, with the 3 ships that we, quote unquote have, we probably could load up a fair amount of our folk and fog and Veil folk and use them as, a direct assault upon the islands while the Admiral, battles them at sea. we could do a 2-prong assault. I think that'd probably be best.
Yeah.
You guys have not confirmed, but suspect that the enemy company does have ship-shaped navy.
Mm-hmm.
So that would probably be a good idea because guess what? House Marin has ship-shaped navy, so everybody would just cancel each other out basically.
Yes. So because
Well,
like I'm not trying to speak on military policy, but
we might just want to wait until we confer with the Baroness to get a more detailed plan.
Yeah.
True enough.
I think we have the idea here, though, at least, which is important.
Yeah. I think we have an idea though. But you are correct.
Like I said, this is the brand new policy setting because we did not get to discuss this last time. So we're getting our general idea, which is you're authorizing, you're giving Logesh the shape to his plans, and you're figuring out what you're going to be logisticing, which is you are going to have some help.
I was just giving us out before we went, like 5 levels too deep into the planning on the strategy.
Yes. If there is
it's like
nothing further on the high level you plan, we can't put that up because I know that Leslok. Well, Leslok wants to have Logesh to at least have a discussion with the Lady Admiral. I think you were planning on being there too.
I think of being there because there's another thing we have to discuss.
There's a couple of things you're working on.
Yeah, there's a few things.
But is there anything else about the ivory? I think you asked this before. You can make a trinket, which is one time, yes, but to make an artifact, don't you need like
months?
Constant days of work.
No, for an artifact, it's months of work. Trinkets are days.
Months of work. That's right.
I think I can make a trinket for the operation.
You can make a one-time use. I think we have discussed that before. You need months for a permanent artifact, which is why it's like that's just not happening anytime soon.
But we did say that we would probably do the raid in the fall. Does Logesh agree with that? Does he want to try to move it up or move it back at all? Because if we wanted to really rush, we probably could pull it off in summer 3. I do want to put that on the table. It is possible.
Honestly, I think about it.
No, if we do it in the fall, we have more time to gather resources together. It won't be a rush job. As good as it would be to catch them by surprise, we need time to prepare and make sure everyone's on the ball.
Sounds good to me.
I'll have time to grab more men too.
I'm just playing devil. I'm not necessarily devil advocate. Yes,
you could say devil's advocate. I think that was what Inos' role on the team was supposed to be like originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until we all went, oh shit, he's speaking facts and logic.
No.
And he's so pretty.
Behold,
an Inos. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we just cleared up the entire schedule. Okay.
Is that everything?
No, just the entire schedule's empty.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what was like he was talking about earlier. He just redacted his generalized plans. Yeah, you guys need to figure out what you're.
You guys got to write down the plans now.
Yeah.
I know what you guys have loosely planned, so I could remind you about when you want to order stuff, but you can figure out what you're working on later. So yeah, you've got several months of fall.
Yeah.
Right, I'm like, I was like, oh right, I control F the Rebecca the ship because I'm like, where the fuck am I in my notes?
Where the hell am I? Who are you people?
Notes.
Just like, no, okay, let's recenter ourselves.
Just picturing Omega like one of those sticky note guys from Control.
Oh, God, that is me. Thank God I don't actually use sticky notes. So many fucking comments and for myself. All right, okay. He's the Shigino monster. All right, so you guys have general. Well, we already worked through the Grand Company stuff, the checkpoints, the forts. Oops, sorry, I'm counting on my fingers above my mic arm. And we've already discussed, placing the plan and the strategy for the course hairs. Is there anything else in the list to bring up?
I know originally we were going to talk about any personal projects that we're working on or plans, right? Did we want to do that or?
Well, I think it'd be good if you want to bring up something with others to share with the group. I'm just trying to
This was meant as kind of a policy setting meeting. Like I said, like you guys had a loose schedule for the rest of the year, but a lot of that was, as pointed out, kind of just like, Inos loosely planning some things and some ideas and some stuff. So yes, if you are
I think at this point then
it blebled my tongue. I was like, yes, we're gonna whatever. If you have personal projects and plans to bring up to the team, the house.
This would probably be important to bring up at the house because this would be a formal request. I would formally request. I believe I just formally request Leslok. Technically, yeah. Formally request Leslok for in order to take leave in the fall, in order to visit the College Alchemia. Alchemia? Alchemical College. Why did I say it? Why did I say that?
So
brain work.
Dallas.
Yeah, like he's got him. Get him.
Yeah.
You do know we're planning on visiting Celticy in the winter, right? Where the Alchemical College is.
Fucking stupid.
Just delayed a month.
I don't know why. I think
you did move some stuff out of the calendar.
I did.
No, it's dumber than that. No, it's dumber than that. No, trust me. I'll tell you why. No, the Alchemical College isn't in Celticy. It's in Oro. That's what my brain said.
I thought
that's what my brain said. That's what my brain said.
It is. Celticy is the island.
No,
Akunar is Oro's province.
I am aware. I am very aware that I was wrong on that. I just was like, that's what my thought process was.
I mean, I can't blame him. I'm the person who constantly getting Norland and Teine mixed up, and I'm just like, wait a minute.
That's fair. I fucked up there too.
It's true to real life, but there are layers and layers of. Like I said, it's not even, Oro is the house who governs. Akunar is the province.
No, yes, it's not even. It's not even. Yeah, no. Like I said, it was very dumb.
Yeah,
but yeah, no.
But
never
I
mind.
believe Aren brought that up because Konrad may have some personal things to pitch to the team.
Fair enough.
That's one of the reasons. Also, the other reason was I believe Lucky mentioned that the meeting would also be going over personal plans and stuff. But anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was last time. Yeah, go for it.
Then I officially request from the Marquis discretionary funds to increase the rate at which I am forming my company of men, if they are going to be of any use against the Ivory Corsairs.
All right, just like. You show what you have in mind?
I'm making a company of men, forming them from lamplighters and some other sources, rangers of sorts, the van of House Logi, perhaps.
Chop men. The councillors remain politely quiet, waiting for Leslok to speak first.
I just have an issue of I wanted to say I want to say go ahead, but I feel like there's a better way to say that than just because I feel like go ahead sounds like the wrong thing to say here.
Make it so.
Motion accepted.
It's like
make it so.
Request accepted.
Make it so.
Okay.
All right.
Make it so. Number one.
All right, thank you.
All right. The House Secretary, Lord Amir he's the secretary. He will, he'll scribble all that out. Allow the Marquess to press his signet seal to it. Okay, sorry about that. I muted so I could wheeze. Ugh. I have to turn my mic off, otherwise the AP version of this gets that.
Hang on, we only need one Picard gif here.
Oh God, fighting me. The calendar's fighting me. trying to put a thing on it, but I can't. I can't play it. Literally.
Well, that's my piece, pretty much. Anyone else?
I'm sorry. I'm like actually thinking if Inos has any projects that he needs to like.
Oh no, actually, yeah, because it would be on a similar note.
Well, actually,
Because I don't think I've actually. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say something to your college request earlier, but no. Finish what your thought first was. Well, your first thought was.
Well, I didn't make that official request because I'm Nicola isn't that stupid. That was Dallas.
No, but what I was gonna say is you can mention that during the trip to Akinar, you would like to allot some time for visiting the alchemical college.
Okay, I probably would bring that up.
Yes, and then Inos would then also second that motion because he wants to visit the alchemical college as well.
And then also because Konrad's request reminded me that I actually haven't officially posed this to the council. We just talked on our merry lonesome about this, so I was just assuming it was okay. I would formally request permission in order to train medical staff, doctors, to create followers for myself. And by that I mean successors, and by that I mean we just need better doctors.
Make a medical institution.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm literally going to take followers.
Once again, the company is Treasure 6, so.
And I'm also Alt 6, so I can help.
Nepotism the Marquess wants to engage in.
Oh,
yeah, nepotism.
Like if anybody does actually need more money to pay for followers, Nicola doesn't actually need more money. He's fucking rich.
I'm just gonna say it's like you can officially make your organization. I don't need to pay you. Like I'll stamp the fucking paperwork.
Boy, the secretive.
I'll get the money.
Folk Gamer is much busier than he was in this version of the timeline.
No,
I'll stamp the paperwork.
Wow, so he gets to make it so, but I get to stamp this. Let's just move on. I see how it is, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stats too.
That's fair.
No, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, college note.
Everyone here right now? I guess it's kind of been an hour.
Well,
my other
Loth's
business,
silenced, but he said that we don't need to go to the meeting with the admiral because he's blurping right now.
Okay.
My other business is definitely not for the public council. That would be for the group 4.
I do still have an outro line once you guys are adjourned with the meeting, but that will be once you are adjourned.
Actually, that does remind Inos of something, because he's probably around. But Inos will turn to Konrad and ask if Konrad had the time to finish that particular pair of blades that was requested.
I have not rolled for that, but that would have been done on the holiday.
The holiday?
Yeah. The holiday when it was midsummer.
Ah, that holiday. Excuse me. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Conrad was working.
Conrad was working. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Sorry. What's up?
Probably his pizza.
Save me from myself, I buy donuts.
I will save you from myself.
I'll make a quick blacksmithing roll for those since I've forgotten that I was going to be finishing those at least.
My roommate bought donuts. I have to save him from myself now. I know, right?
You need to make a lucky proof box.
But like I said, Inos, because he is involved in this marriage situation, this wedding planning. I'm sorry, it took me a few minutes to get that. Does want to ask.
We're coming up on our time to take probably a 5 or 10 minute break anyway.
Yeah, but wants to ask the Marquess if he wants to be more public or private with wedding planning and
I wanted a more private ceremony, but probably a separate celebration for the public.
well, not what Enos doesn't mean about that, but do you want to be, flaunting the wedding coming up? Do you want to be like spreading the word? Do you want to be like having like public appearances on the matter? Like Enos isn't actually the most well read on like the wedding parts of this, so he's asking you for how you want to handle your wedding and everything leading up to it, because the way sees it, he can make everything a public display, so you can show off well, not necessarily the courtship, but the process, or we can keep everything under wraps and keep it nice and small and quiet.
I'd better keep.
Excuse me, let me finish real quick. For example, this is again like out of character. We're having, you gift Nerissa one of the swords and the twin knives, formal edition. Do you want to do that privately and just have a moment between you two, or do you want to do it publicly and have it be like a sign and show of solidarity between houses?
The weird thing for me is because I wanted to do it privately, but that's just because I think Leslok's a bit haunted. Like, I don't want to make a big public event where everyone knows I'm going to be exactly at this spot at this exact time.
Fair enough. All right, private it is.
Fair play.
Yeah. All right. We will handle wedding planning and. Excuse me. Do you want to just generally handle things privately and close to the vest when it comes to the wedding planning?
I would, but that's because Leslok is a bit. A wedding is really easy to fuck up and poison.
All right, so I think this sounds like we're probably going to be having a smaller private wedding in general. Okay.
You might have a thing. I think a follow-up thing could be a very big public matter, but I think that's separate.
Yes, the honeymoon. The honeymoon is going to. You're going to be making a trip, and it's going to be very public. At that point, though, you will be married, and you'll have a whole ass company of blood shields with you. Whole ass company.
Yes. Yeah. I'm more comfortable with that by then.
Literally 100 men. But yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Yes, you've already said you're planning on a public honeymoon tour. Nerissa, who is here, would mention that she has actually discussed this in her letters with Leslok, and I don't remember, has she? Have you guys actually been collabing about wedding stuff?
I talked back and forth.
Nerissa tasked me about finding. She asked me about finding out about. Was it
right?
Wulfric?
Talking about Wulfric's wedding. Yes. She was originally going to ask Leslok that, but she.
Yes, no. But other than that,
I literally cut that paragraph out of a letter to Leslok and moved it to you because she was under the impression that Leslok is very busy and is doing quite frankly, too many things.
It's like Cards Against Humanity card. A busy adult with many important things to do.
Yes. But yes, Nerissa would bring up now that she has then been discussing in letters with Leslok about it that she is perfectly all right with a more private, intimate ceremony. That's kind of how her parents got married. It was a small friends and family thing. But does want to make sure that there is definitely some public pomp and circumstance, a public reception or festival afterward, because in her words, she does not want to appear as some, aloof and mysterious foreigner to the people of Teine. She wants to be what's the word? Very very openly be announced as the new Marquess. Once that a very big public show of it. Yeah, you guys haven't actually discussed who's presiding.
Yeah. He accepted as one of us.
Okay, notification. And yeah. Well, while you guys are talking about that, let's go ahead and pause for a second.
Yeah, we're about the 1 hour mark. We're
go for about an hour. Let's take a fiver.
Yeah.
Our plan is to take more breaks and check in with everybody, so I myself will pause and go real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm paused. All right. And we're back. Break successful.
Break successful. I do feel better actually.
Pop-Tart.
Mandatory breaks.
Yeah.
Proven to be
Okay.
successful in jobs.
But with that discussion, Inos will then say that once Leslok receives the gift from Konrad to basically give it to Narissa at a time of his choosing. Since we're not making a public event out of it, there's no real need to, have pomp and circumstance around it. So just whatever, whenever.
All right,
Whatever
then.
feels best.
I have some things in mind, but we'll worry about it later.
Yeah, no.
I at least appreciate her doing this priorly, just because if we do this publicly, I think it goes against just what I feel Leslok's like.
Well, you should have, mate. Ooh, sorry.
Bruh.
Yawn crept up on me. It's my bad. Sorry. Wasn't expecting that to come out. You should have several opportunities for more private, intimate conversations. Like, basically, not to put it off, but your whole last week, like, I had Inos roll Fascinate to get the. No, I'm sick, so I'm still going to be yawning. That's okay. I feel fine. But, like, Inos rolled Fascinate to get the king to deschedule some mandatory meetings, some otherwise mandatory meetings. So, like, you have an outdoor luncheon thing where there's not really any like major agenda planned. You're taking a hot springs trip to Drakesboro for like a day. Like you will have in that last week some outings which will be more private but also more structured to be like to think about your timing if you're looking for like open spots in your schedule.
Nicola will actually ask Leslok if he can stay behind after the meeting.
That's fine.
Oh, neat, cool. Anything else meeting wise?
Well, Enos will mention that sometime in the fall he would still like to make the diplomatic trip to like I said.
Yeah.
Like I said, he will refrain from actually making more concrete plans until after we have dealt with the Ivory Raiders, though. Probably. So,
Yes.
It's true. You won't know where your company assets will be.
Yes. So, once we have that locked in, we would like to discuss, a diplomatic mission to Egg to strengthen our relationships. But other than that, I don't
Probably best if I do the same for the monstrum hunt that we have planned for the fall.
Yes. Because early fall.
You put the date.
Because unfortunately, we have to remember that early fall, we're gonna have big harvest. Big harvest.
We've played a big harvest, yeah.
I think you didn't have to get rid of like the headers and the
What headers?
like just the events.
I mean, you could
happening
just look in the history if you're looking for a title of events and
Well,
repost
if you
them. If you
want them
if
back,
you have
put them
something
back
very
in,
high
Axe.
level.
I'm doing
That's
that.
what I was just saying. Is you can open up the history of the doc and just find a header that you missed.
And like I said, does also remind you that we are on tap to be purchasing extra foodstuffs from Cheval. Like I said, if it might behoove us to, if we are, going to be helping the Fogvale, we might just buy more. Who knows? Duchess of All did speak about she might just send aid regardless. We don't know about that. You might want to speak. We might want to speak to her on that.
True.
Let me grab the name I'm thinking of, but it is
Especially if we're keeping the travel into the Fogvale restricted.
Yes.
her sister, Lady Jovig Cheval, was brought along on this team, and she is, that she is a more is in charge of various mercantile endeavors of the house. So if you want to talk to her about any extra purchasing.
Yes. Like I said, because originally when we made this deal back during the Dragon Festival, this was to supplement our own food in case, of poor harvests or we need more food in general. Now we have a situation where we have a whole country that may need more food in general.
True. So,
like I said, so I guess I mentioned before, Duchess of All has already been considering how much she can give up on her own. But it's one of those things of, well, actually, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this about this, but if we have the leeway to make sure that the Duchess of All is paid for what she is giving, I think that's better.
Currently, you have fuck huge money,
Yes.
so why not be balling?
I guess we'll use it. Yeah, because it's like
Also,
because how money works.
Well, yeah, smoke it while you got him.
but also, because this is, logistical Enos talking, he does want to remind you that, especially in the early months of fall, we are not going to have people to do stuff with. Everyone is going to be fucking working the farms, counting and moving crops and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, there will be no peasants to levy. There will be no day laborers to labor.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes I think it's kind of funny to think about how like literally it's just like as long as we don't buy anything huge enough to like tumble a nation, we can just keep buying things this month.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why this is why I think like concepts like unbalanced economy and the loan work, because those are ways you can dynamically utilize your wealth, but also it do go down.
Mm-hmm.
It don't just go up, it do go down.
Yeah, so it's like,
but for right now, you're like, yes, you are correct. So long as you do, literally, we've had this conversation before about, and I did the nepotism joke, but like the game has sidebars about like, hey, what if you have fuck tons of money as a company and you want to give the PCs fuck tons of money? You can do that, but you might start fostering a culture where your NPCs in your company also start skimming off the top.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's how you lead to. That's how you make cracks in your entire bureaucracy.
Yes, so you want to avoid a skimming culture, but also you are full of money.
In this case,
yes,
we're just
this will probably be a reasonable
with
purchase.
plans.
Okay, all right. Not to rush anybody, but we have been going for the hour. Is there now anybody else who has any meaty mimey stuff?
I go.
No, I think I'm good.
Anyone?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, go ahead.
Good.
Next.
I need to make time to make my artifact, but I could probably wait till after summer court to just spend like
Yeah, you just
2
need
whole days on that.
In fact, honestly, at
2
summer
days.
court, you probably don't have enough days to do it.
Yeah, because if it's like 4 8-hour periods or something like that.
Yes. It also, yes, it's trinket. It is
The
specific.
trinket, yeah.
Artifact of the capital A is the permanent version. Trinket's the
No trinket. I do it after summer court. Where I could
Trinkets
I
and
could get that done like 2 like all-nighters or something, and just...
Alrighty. Okay. Then officially, Nicola did say that he wanted Leslok to stay behind, so you guys can have a private meeting. But first, Inos, you are grabbed. Ah! Konrad, you are also scooped. Nerissa actually wants to talk to you, and she basically says, "So, gentlemen, I've heard from my dear cousin that we have some business to discuss about the club, if you know what I mean."
Oh, the club, you say? Enos will waggle his eyebrows, comically. Yes, actually, Cousin Konrad and I have actually think we have found quite a suitable location already. We've already been making work to sprucing the darling up. I do believe, though, before that we actually get into any full staffing requirements, I do believe we actually have to... Oh, what's the term? Open the bloody thing? Bless it? Officiate? Officiate, that's a good one.
Yes, make it official. Well, that will require a vote, but I just so happen to have been discussing this, and I do believe that if we were looking for an occasion where we might have all of our social peers together, the evening of the morrow, just after the premiere of the play, I do believe every member of the club here will be in attendance. And so a small gathering after the fact could be arranged to take a vote, if you are prepared that soon.
Enos, takes a moment, places his hand in his chin, and it's all like, You will have to forgive me. I'm not entirely sure of the entire process of the matter. Like, when you say when we take a vote, are we just gonna gather at some tea shop, hold a quick discussion, and have everyone have a show of hands, yay or nay, of opening the new branch or the new club? Or is there more to the
That
process?
is the short of it. That is at least how my cousin has it written up in the bylaws. She may want to take a more formal vote with, ballots and whatnot, but certainly a simple show of hands, if it can be arranged, would be, well, should suffice anyway.
Yes. Are we gonna need to show the location beforehand or something? I am quite fond of it, and I think Konrad finds it quite agreeable, but I do not think that everyone else has had the opportunity to see the location.
And Marissa kind of stops to think about it, rubs her chin. Because you wanted to talk with, well, Dame Rosenrod about the staffing.
Yeah.
For reasons Narissa's previously established. Yes. She's probably aware of your ideas. And she kind of, nods and says, well, if you did have any sketches or images of it, that would probably be better. But it can simply just ride on your not insignificant persuasive talents.
Can I paint a picture with my words? Would that be fascinating?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, actually, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then yes,
I'm
no.
pretty sure you could pull that off.
I was like, then Inos will nod. I was like, I will do my utmost to paint a picture with words then. I have been over and under that thing several times already.
Excellent. Well, we'll make a time of it. At which, possibly, I don't know, where exactly Nico will be planning on having this conversation with Leslok, but if Inos doesn't have any more questions about the process.
No, it's just, I think it's probably wouldn't like to actually finalize a location that everyone meets up, not so everyone
Well,
get the
yeah,
word
that's her next step, because what Narissa's going to do is she's basically going to turn around from where you guys are conspiratorially huddled, by an end table or something, or by a bench, and be like, oh darling, I'm absolutely incredibly famished. Yes, we simply must arrange some sort of private dining experience. Yes, tomorrow, I think, after the play. Make sure to invite all of our favorite people. Yes.
I have the list, of course.
Yes.
How many people we should invite?
And
Everyone.
basically, in semi-coded speak, basically be like, all right, turn to Leslok and be like, book a location where we can have a vote.
Yes.
So Leslok can use the power of the Marquess under the auspices of, arranging a small dinner party with his fiance to just get everybody from the Atoll Club grouped up somewhere. Once again, you guys are so stinking rich. Leslok, what's your personal wealth level since you,
6.
Acquired a... Yes, you're also 6. You acquired a fantastical treasure of legend also.
It could have been 7, but I split it with my brother because I thought it was more productive that way.
I mean, the fairy tale sells better, I think, that way. But yes, fantastical monies.
You still
All right,
have
okay.
all the money, brother.
Aren't you also up
Where's
6, or would you not? Are you only 5 now?
Well, I think you spend it back down.
Oh, right, you spent all of it. Fuck.
Yeah. You caroused for at least a couple of EXP points, I think.
Yeah. And that carousing was with the people that were building the shit that I was paying for, so.
Yes, so it worked out, yeah. But yes, no. So yes, that was Narissa's plan, is basically just, get Leslok to book out a restaurant or a tea house somewhere, like I said, for a dinner party, but it'll actually be a secret Atoll Club meeting.
Let's all just get something, I think, like a street or 2 down from the actual playhouse without that big a deal. We'll probably get something nice.
Should be in your entertainment district. That should work out. Yep. All right. And hey, guess what? I think Narissa is a little tongue in cheek. She knows how to have fun. Probably there would be formal invites percolated to all of you guys, because every player character is a member of the 12 Club.
Leslok would ask if Narissa wants anything specific at the any specific food there or not, but you could tell
Oh,
there.
she's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Social activity dog.
Orders.
All right. Okay. With that
Yep.
resolved, Nicola, you wanted to talk to Leslok about something.
Yeah.
So I will.
Assuming everyone clears out eventually,
Yeah.
I don't see why
Probably
we
over an
can't
hour or
just
two.
have this in the meeting room.
I don't know if
Well,
you
because
two are
we-
staying behind. Konrad might just stand there for a while, looking at both of you.
I mean, Nicola personally would not have any problem saying this in front of Konrad, but I thought you got grabbed by Narissa.
Yeah, we were like on the other end of the room.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
I
no.
more didn't want to say this shit in front of the counselors.
Konrad might do it for a second or two, like when you guys are like staying behind, but then just like walk out of the room.
Yeah. Well,
Fine,
cousin.
keep your
Yes, I think he goes
secrets.
Cousin, I felt it proper to inform you as Marquis and ruler to this land that over some time in the course of this summer court, when I have my gift finished, I will be contacting. Okay, how do I want to say this?
Are we talking about the fairy?
God, this. Yes, that's why I'm trying. I'm like, how do I say her name without saying her name?
I will use like the good queen.
No, a certain visiting dignitary. That's a good one.
Very
With
simple.
regards to my bloodline.
Hmm.
This is a discussion I have been having over the past months with the Lady White.
Yeah.
You haven't been spending time with her.
And I wanted to give you some documentation so that you may look this over and make sure I am not doing anything improprietous. If that is okay with you.
Yeah, let me see it then.
Basically, it's a, like, obviously chicken scratched over, and, like, rewritten, like, not an oath, because that would be in direct violation of my current oath, but, like, an agreement to... an agreement of friendship to the fair folk, essentially. Of Nicola and his bloodline personally, not you, people of his direct descendancy, is what I've put. And it's terms of friendship and what was it? What did I want to do? It was terms of friendship and advocacy. No, I'm not selling my soul. I already sold that months ago. To science.
I'm.
Sorry.
I want to be less binding in this wording because I think they'll take it as more than you think it will. Though this is, I guess, an oath of companionship, of good companionship. Though, that if I say that to another knight or if you ever like that, that could be taken very differently.
I see your point. I should probably just have it by. Yeah, no, I'll rewrite this a bit. Sorry. Nicholas is literally shooting out a pen while he's saying this because he's like, I want to make sure that she knows that I will be. Okay, hold on.
I guess always be
Mhm.
hospitable to her visiting. Oh, okay.
Sorry. But I will say that I. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I want to phrase it where I'm offering not an alliance because I'm one person. That's not really an alliance, but just like terms of friendship
Hospitality.
and agreement. Yeah. So I wanted to workshop this with you because I wanted to make sure it did not violate my oath to this house.
think you want to make it less binding as like eternally friends or eternally companions, and more just that you will always be good neighbors.
That's a good idea. Okay.
You want to
But
be
yeah, no, that's
fair in the terms, but not make it where it's exploitable.
all right. You always did have a better way with words than I did.
Thank you.
All right. I just wanted to check in with you because I know that sometimes I have a habit of getting lost in my work.
You make impressive things, though you do. It is hard to keep track of you sometimes.
Yes, I am a bit scatterbrained. Look, I'm getting better. I'm trying.
Well,
That is definitely, that is a 100% Nicola. He's just like, Nicola is 100 the type, percent the type of person to have died in a house fire because he was too busy studying something while his house was on fire.
Lucky's getting so much use out of this one again.
He's got his AirPods in.
Anyway,
fucking stick puppets, great.
yeah,
But yeah, it's like well, I truly hope this doesn't become disastrous. For all
same with me, but I feel I will at least make it so that the punishment does not come down on the house, but rather on me personally. I know that's not reassuring.
It's why I think you should probably get maybe. I mean,
This
you
one
could
on Polly?
get you could get our good squire to look at it to see if how binding it would be to people like her.
Actually, Omega, sorry, I don't mean to cut off your role play. Would student of law be like something like good about like writing contracts and finding loopholes?
Yes.
Okay.
I always think
Actually-
yes.
Hey, right, actually,
Okay. Like I said, then out of character, the Marquess might also want to point Nicola towards Logesh, as I did just see his key character recently. He does have student of law at 4.
I know I do at least had it like at 3 or more. So like yeah,
No, that is a good idea.
have
it's like I recommend for the how flowery it is. Talk to the good squire. I assume you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. No. Now that I think about this, despite the arcane nature of this is just a legal contract.
Yes, and maybe that's not the best of ideas. Even if it's the pleasantry, when you're discussing with the good queen, anything. A pleasantry becomes a contract.
Well, no, this is explicitly a contract. This isn't even like this may be interpreted as this is a contract. Like,
Okay.
now that I'm thinking about it, this is just a contract.
Yeah, you should probably
I'm
then have
just trying
Logesh
not
as a
to
judge.
sell too much.
Yes, it's like I think
God, should Nicola tell you what he's?
I want to avoid asking this, but what do you hope to get out of this?
Oh, out of character, Nicola Dallas wants to get the special elf esoteric.
Yeah. So the Fey esoteric requires an oath to the Fairy Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to commit an oath without committing a full oath.
It's one of the reasons why I can't be like,
How very
Dallas, no,
elfy
you're
is
dumb.
it?
He's like, no, Dallas is actually doing the proper thing.
I
It's
want
just-
to turn into.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to turn into a Banshee warrior.
It's
Yeah.
like you want. It's like you want to swear an oath without making like an allegiance change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
In character, his reasons is because he wants to reconnect with his roots.
yeah.
But yeah. No, yeah, that's. I will go
think
over and
it's
talk
like
to Logesh and work this out.
Logesh, I also think you should just talk to the good squire out of the sake of being like, if there's any bits that she would take differently.
Okay. Do you know her name?
If I say her name, she'll show up.
Oh, right.
With intention.
Forgot. Forgot.
We talk about out of character. We talk about Aesopher. Remember, that has to be with
Yes,
intention.
Aesopher.
That's with intention. Remember,
okay,
there's a lot of elves named Aesopher.
Yeah,
Right, yes,
Aesopher did talk about this. If you don't, so long as you don't specify Aesopher the Squire, my
Squire's
good
just
friend,
saying-
the good elf.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was just so
The
used to
Squire
thinking,
specifically is
I'm
that
so
to me.
used.
Yes.
I'm so used to like maneuvering around the other knights and the queen naming wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Aesopher,
yeah.
when you met her, Aesopher did mention that there are other.
Yeah.
I think she basically did the other version of. There are many names like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah,
All right,
so basically, over the next
Life
4
has
days,
many
I'm going to have
names,
to...
boy.
So
like-
basically, over the next 4 days, I'm going to have to corner Logesh and Aesopher at different times to go over this contract.
That should be pretty easy to do for Aesopher. All right.
Yeah, but I want to spread them out over multiple sessions just because, like I said, this still does require this thing I'm having built in the background that is not... Like, I can't do it without that.
I just think you have a perspective on it for like this kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, I probably should... Okay, Omega, this is a worldview question. Before I do... I realize I should not do this part without asking you if this will accidentally fuck up something huge.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm planning on putting in the glass vial, right?
You're blurred.
Yeah. Is that gonna, like, sell my soul?
Not specifically, no. The blood
Okay.
is symbolic of your level of
Okay,
dedication.
yeah. Gotcha.
It's symbolic.
I think if your true name is the more binding part, honestly. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be
Well, she already
careful with
knows
that.
my true name. I assume. I assume anyone with Fey ancestry she might have the access to find the name of.
Yes,
I
but
don't
like
know.
writing it down in like allegiance is a bit more.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not gonna.
Intense.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to give her my name. That's a little much.
It means she could just pluck you anytime she wants to.
Yes.
Could be
That's
anywhere.
that's what I'm trying to not have happen. I'm trying to not be in the middle of an important meeting, and then the fairy queen just walks in. It's like, "Hey, I need this for a second. Bye." Nicola's just like, "Oh god, I guess I leave now."
Well, I
Anyway.
hope it goes as you hope.
I'm sure this will not be the thing that goes wrong with Summer Court.
That's very
Anyway,
specific.
Bye.
I suddenly feel older by 5 years.
Beware of skeletons.
That's
Look,
I mean, that's how
Nicola-
your interactions with the Fairy Queen feel.
Nicola is simultaneously optimistic towards people and pessimistic towards general fate and life.
I mean, he is jinxed. It makes sense.
yes.
That's something that was actually another thing we completely forgot to talk about when we were trying to re-examine Nicola's character. He is actually jinxed. He is
Yes, no, he is
born
cursed
under a
by
bad
fate.
star.
The arm was an omen.
Yeah, no, like his
Yeah.
he also is actually technically the arm thing doesn't bother him anymore because he did the whole point of casting lifeless limb on yourself is you no longer have that problem. Instead, he just straight up he's still jinxed. He's still cursed.
Fate still doesn't like me.
All right. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, not to speed us along too much, but we're going for about an hour and a half.
We should get to
and,
the play.
my next point is to jump to the play.
Let's
The
do it.
next day.
Yeah.
Basically, at
I turn my heater down a
the
little
the Curia Regis that morning, the king will formally announce that he is promoting Leslok to Viceroy of the Fogvale, and will explain to the court, not in full, that like he will not full blown blow the lid. Like he's not going on TV being like, "Hello, we have discovered the Fogvale exists," but it's more like, it has come to our attention that, the closed borders with the region known as the Fogvale is an ongoing concern to the realm, and under advisement from the Marquess Logi and, the Countess A, we have decided to reopen those borders and begin, exploring the future of the Fogvale to ensure smooth operations, obeyance of the king's law, and protection of all peoples under it. The king is very careful about his phrasing. You know, he is promoting Leslok to Viceroy of the Fogvale at this time. He is taking no further questions. Good day. So, you know, he does not explicitly describe the situation there, but it is now public that the Fogvale is quote unquote open. He probably would phrase it as like, any of you who are interested in this project, direct yourself to the office of the Viceroy. Which is why it's important for you to have, you know, like we said, discussed, start setting your policy, because basically
Yes.
Leslok now gets to go when people ask questions. He's like, well, guess what? I have a 4-step plan.
First is the Grand Company.
Yeah.
Well, first is
but
saying,
yes,
don't
so-
go to the fucking Fogvale.
Yeah, first, don't show up. It's not ready.
Yes.
It's not ready.
Not ready yet.
Yeah. I mean, he is the Viceroy. That is what he gets to say. He gets to be, no, it's not ready for you. The High Kings told me to investigate if we're ready for this. We're not. Stay home.
Go back.
So, on the Ferns Day evening, though, not too late, but not too early, it is the premiere of the play The Fool and the Soldier, written by Albert Martlet, father of Rena Martlet. There'll be several showings, throughout Summer Court, but this is the big premiere, so, most of your major nobles will be in attendance. You're packed in the theater hall. Like I said before, this is probably a, Shakespearean style, covered amphitheater. It's not quite a giant grand opera house, so it's not like you're going to be, you're not going to be like up in an entire, distant private box with like opera glasses. But Leslok, I'm sure, can have a upper balcony seating, be reserved. Obviously, we have discussed this previously, that Konrad has been very insistent about promoting and making sure everybody in the squad is coming. That is actually, yes, asking about, are you going with a date? That is what I was going to ask, is, are you taking anybody with you? Yes, Narissa, you go with Narissa, all right.
Well, Logesh would ask Ainara, but if not, then he'd go with family.
Ainara will show up. She is also in the Atoll Club, so like she's like, oh well, I think she would phrase it as, well, I wasn't sure I was going, but we're doing this club meeting thing, so we'll go along as well.
Yeah.
Nicola will invite 3 people.
Boy.
Is that allowed?
Actually,
Who are they first?
well, I assume one is already well. Easy. It's the girl squad. Paz, Alestra, Aurelia, and
Lestra?
Alarion.
Well,
Alarion.
That's 4.
yeah, Aurelia's definitely going. He did his math. He had to count how many people were
I
in the
know,
T-girl
4.
squad.
Listen, all those A names.
Yes.
Surprised
Hey,
I got them all right.
I am proud of myself. I didn't have to look at the guide.
You,
I think it's
yeah,
5.
You did get
Wait.
there.
Just because 5 because Pat. No.
No,
He
it's
said
4. It's
Paz.
Electra, Alarion, Aurelia, and Paz.
What's Ike's little sister's name? I forgot about it off his hand. Aurelia's lady in waiting.
Yerwin Wayland?
Yerwin, thank you.
Third one.
Yes.
Yeah, she's part of.
That's what I was going to say about Aurelia.
He's
Aurelia's
going
already
Aurelia.
definitely
Yeah,
like
no.
if you're like, hey Aurelia, are you going to like yes?
That's why I initially said 3, because I figured Aurelia was already going.
Yes, Aurelia's already going to be
But,
going.
yeah.
Moira will be escorting her.
No, and obviously,
she will bring-
and I didn't just want to invite one person because it could be misconstrued as like weird if I just invited
Yes.
like just
I
Alarion.
think the rest of the squad will show up. Paz will probably sit in wherever the Oro block is sitting.
Yeah, I so invite Kefis, but I also invite Lady Star, Professor Star, but that's a separate thing.
Sure.
Inos
No.
probably isn't actually going with anybody.
He's gonna fly solo to be a cool guy.
Well, like I said, all 3 of my love interests are here, and I don't want to, make a particular scene over, sitting with one of them in particular in this moment.
Yeah.
And at a premiere, I would say.
And my love
publicly, yes.
interests are not in this country, so I'm just chaperoning the teen girl squad.
So
I
Yes.
thought they were. No, they're not. They didn't show up. Never mind.
No, yeah, the twins aren't.
Inos
They are
is
literally overseeing House Martin right now.
3 guesses who Conrad's going with, and the first 2 don't count.
Ignis.
Was any of your bird again?
Now I'm just imagining. Now I'm just imagining Ignis in like a Scooby Doo style dress.
But
Red.
also beforehand, Inos is making sure to buy Logesh some fucking cough syrup. What the fuck?
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Omega's killing me.
Loth needs like insulation in his wall, like anti-heat insulation in his walls.
No.
He needs protection from Omega.
Yes,
I absolutely killed him with that one. He wasn't ready.
I was not prepared for that.
But Inos is going to be making sure to have bought bouquets of flowers to gift the actors after the show, after the premiere.
Fair enough. Yes, they are a visiting actorial troupe because they've been rehearsing this for months in Trone. But yes, that's perfectly all right. Yes, you'll would probably be pretty typical. Send bouquets and stuff around. But yeah, so Konrad will be with Rena.
Yes.
I assume because Leslok can send out the invitation, you're going to invite Rena to sit in the box.
Yes.
So you guys be all up in the box.
Inos will be down below. You don't mind.
Oh, sitting amongst the crowds.
Yes.
Honestly, if you're not a member of the Theater Guild because you're in the Goldsmiths Guild, that's more important to your professional career. But
Yes.
you are known in the theater scene of Stonehearth, so you're probably, if you don't mind, you're probably down with like the other local actors and theater owners and stuff.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yes.
Yes, I think you're in the crowd. Obviously,
Welcome,
Inos is
friend.
like recognizable anywhere at a distance.
Fucking
It's the
gorgeous.
horns, obviously.
So you and will be having discussions about the actors, the actresses, the troops, the props, who's like doing the music and stuff. It's like yes, I see. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yes. So, all right. The stage is set. You guys are provided with a playbill, of course. So I have a briefeth summary.
Exciting.
So,
This is
and all the major names will be in attendance. This is a shiny new thing. It is billed as a summer court event. So, if you're looking at the playbill, the play is a comedy, though you will find that it occasionally touches on some striking concepts. To roughly summarize the plot as you view it, because like I said, I have not run a multi-act structure on this, but I have an outline, an idea that came to me. So the best way to think of this plot is for the people at home. This is a trading places plot. So our primary protagonist is known as the Fool in the playbill. The other characters refer to him as the Dandy. He is a handsome, educated, and wealthy nobleman, concerned with managing his estate for his, aging and bedridden father and his young, frail but headstrong sister. He has a fiance with a noblewoman who's also of wealth and bearing. But, in your introductory scenes, as you're introduced to this character and all he's got going on, he goes out drinking with his friends. They poke fun at him for his, lack of worldly experience. He doesn't get out of his manor much. Because he's, very busy. So he ends up hastily making a wager about it, and this is where he runs into our secondary character, the Soldier. The Soldier is a young man with an uncanny resemblance to the Fool, who is out at the bar drowning his sorrows because he has just been, after literally weeks after getting back home from a tour of duty, he has been drummed back up again to rejoin his unit. He's already received papers that he's going to be going back out there. And the two concoct a zany scheme. The Fool will play the part of the Soldier, and thus, gaining worldly experience and winning his bet. And the Soldier will take his place to relax in comfort and safety, as long as he can keep up with the Dandy's appointments. The only one they let in on this charade is the Dandy's younger sister. Because, obviously.
You should find out at some point.
well, yeah, she would know. So they loop her in as kind of the triangle point, and they go about their ways. The result is, like I said, it's a comedy, so it's a comedy of errors. Both parties find the other's life not all it's cracked up to be. As the position of the soldier, the fool finds himself not only dealing with the physical hardship and mental discipline of the army, but he is alternatively either surrounded by the boorish enlisted men who are either mostly criminals serving out their public service, orphans or otherwise people with nowhere else to go who have been conscripted, or officers. The officers are either, among the NCOs, are either hardened, bullies, men who came up through the enlisted ranks themselves, and so they press down, or gallant young men who are all too ready to martyr themselves at a moment's notice. This is a recurring joke where something will happen and one of the, young cavalry officers will be like, "No, of course, I shall valiantly lead the charge myself. No, Colonel, you can't talk me out of it." And he's like, the Colonel's like, no, none of that.
My body will keep the door shut.
Yes, that sort of thing. Like, it is a recurring gag. He discovers throughout the course of this, the fool does, that the soldier enlisted in the first place because he was an orphan. He donates much of his pay to his local orphanage run by nuns, and so on. So, he has hidden depths. Meanwhile, while living in the lap of luxury, the soldier discovers that the fool's bedridden father didn't have any time for his son while he was healthy, and somehow has less time for his son now that he's ill. And all of the fool's friends are, despite their education and manners, just as boring and mundane as his army acquaintances. Just as dull. And the dandy's fiancée, despite her station and beauty, is insipid, disrespectful, and ignorant, and definitely carrying on an affair with one of the dandy's friends that he was just too cotton-headed to notice. Actually, I missed a line here. I was going to say, the fool's only ally among the soldiery is the old colonel, who I mentioned.
Okay.
He instantly sees through the ruse and covers for the fool. Like, he doesn't bring it up, but the acting and the framing of the scenes is very clear to make it that the colonel figured it out. He just lets it ride.
Can you still swing a sword? All right, whatever.
Yes. On the soldier side, I bring this up because on the soldier side, the one who figures out his ruse is the young lady's maid, who has known the son of the house since they were both children and is basically acting as their older foster sister. So, she immediately figures out that he's not the young lord of the house, and just kind of goes with it because the sister is in on it. So, after, like I said, comedy of errors, they go back and forth, find out that things are not all they're cracked up to be. The play's action climaxes when both of our protagonists manage to end up in a duel separate duels, scheduled at the same place.
Of course.
The fool finally backtalks to one of the callous and ignoble actions of the other officers, and so, challenges his honor. And the soldier challenges the other young noble who is engaged in the affair with the dandy's fiancée to keep up appearances. They end up picking the same secluded wood at night and engage in what starts as, two separate duels, ends up in a four-man duel where the ruse is revealed. And there is actually some stage fighting.
Ooh.
I just image this thing if they're all circling, all four of them are circling, and some of them are tossing their outfits off and putting them back on.
No, we don't quite go through the disguises, but there definitely is a play where like I said, one group shows up, and they're like, "Oh, I'm here to fight you about blah blah blah," and they're like, "Oh, I'm not here for that one. You're not here? What duel are you here for? This duel." Shing. And the four show up, and like I said, there's a little bit of stage combat. Before any lives are lost, though, our heroes do triumph before they have to actually stab anybody. A messenger suddenly arrives and announces that the dandy's father is definitely dying. So everybody rushes back to the estate. The emotional climax happens where, on his deathbed, the father reveals that the soldier is actually his illegitimate son, thus the fool's half-brother, thus the resemblance.
Ooh.
Recognizes him officially, adds him to the will, then dies. The soldier is now a wealthy gentleman. He uses his money to purchase a proper commission in the army and serves as an officer under the old colonel, setting a better example for officers enlisted. He ends up marrying the head maid.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
The dandy breaks off his previous engagement on account of, the dishonor and the duel and the whatnot. He fully has his inheritance. He sponsors several orphanages, schools, and personal artists, and ends up marrying a young painter who was the person. The soldier was very casually. He was very wishy-washy about courting her. The dandy ends up marrying her after discovering that she is in fact an impoverished patrician from a long-lost dynasty.
Oh.
The play leaves it up to interpretation whether or not they actually discovered this or they just made some shit up. But basically, you end up with a, romantic conclusion. The dandy gets to be a better person after, bumbling his way through life. The soldier is still a soldier, but he is, a gentleman. The sister ends up going off to one of the, art schools that her older brother finances. And, like I said, it's a comedy, so it ends happily. There are some jokes. There's a little tension, a little action. Yes, I was definitely inspired by some of Shakespeare's ideas. Like I said, it's a trading places type plot.
It makes me think of like the Shakespeare plays, the good ones.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
I mean, there are several. There's literally a trading places one. Shit. Which one is that? Actually, some of it would be some inspiration was from Taming of the Shrew, but this is different. There's a couple of ones, but yeah, no, it's all in out. And like I said,
Mark Twain.
That was a fairy tale from earlier, I believe. But yes, the Prince and the Pauper is a classic story. Pretty sure that some more. But yes, so that is the like I said, the rough outline of the play. It's very well written. I mean, not to shoot my own horn, but I ghost wrote that plot, so I think it's. So there's applause. They come out on stage to take a bow. You can present your various bouquets and flowers there. And if any characters have any of their opinions they want to discuss amongst themselves, you are in a crowded social event.
Inos will be discussing the particulars of it. Like, did they actually get like identical twins to play the soldier and the fool?
Not identical twins, but the two actors are probably real life brothers.
Ooh.
So they have a familial resemblance.
Rad.
A little bit of stage makeup to make them look closer.
Neat.
Because they can't do the actual Freaky Friday trick where they just camera clone Lindsay Lohan. They have to actually, or Parent Trap trick. They have to actually both be on stage at the same time. So yes, they are two actors made up. So hold on, sorry, got to plug my headset in. Told me it needs to charge, but yes, the rest of you, what are your other thoughts and feelings and?
What was the inspiration for this play, actually?
Based on true life events.
I know, right?
I could see a story of some banner house.
I liked it. That's all Logesh will say. He will give it
Give it two
I wouldn't say
spears up.
standing ovation. Yeah.
I feel like Inara's opinion was good. It was funny. Could have used more sword fights.
The sword could have been longer.
Every Espada style play has to end with a duel to the death.
I can totally picture Inara leaning forward when it's like, oh, duel time, and then leaning back like, oh.
I don't think. There's no prop. There's not even they didn't bother doing prop blood.
Konrad definitely responded to our. Well, at least there was one, two technically.
Could have been a third if they converged.
Konrad would probably be discussing how he just the characters and their development and stuff.
Yeah. No, I definitely like the bit where because they learned of each other's life, they use that to improve their own life. Like how the soldier, he was all like, being noble and stuff ain't as cracked up to be. I gotta set a better example for myself. And the fool being all like, oh man, there are people down there who need some fucking help.
Yeah, the dandy learned to appreciate that he has money, and the soldier realized that this upper class thing's not all it's cracked up to be. You have to actually be a good guy.
Yeah. I've got to be the me. I got to be the me that I want to see.
Yes, because like I said, it is the joke of the trading places thing, but it is definitely the idea of grass is always greener type shit, and then you get there and you're like, no, actually, there's
it's still brown.
The dandy actually has a problem. He has he is fabulously rich. However, it comes at the cost of his incredibly strained relationship with his father, who is actively dying.
And the fact
And
that
has
he
to
also
handle all the family responsibilities.
and he's being manipulated by all of his friends casually.
It's almost like material conditions inform the way people behave.
Totally picturing it's like, oh, you are my illegitimate child.
He's
I
like,
signed
yeah,
the
I mean,
will
it's basically
over-
like, it's
and
like,
then he gets back
add him
up.
to the will. I acknowledge you as my son. Quick, add him to the will. And then he's just like, oh. Actor
And he gets
over.
back up. It gets up like one time, and then goes back down.
Yeah, it's a fucking Kung Pao death scene.
No, I think he probably doesn't do the fake out, but it's just
No,
he waxes very long and poetical for a guy who's dying. And then of course, the actor
Nicola's
takes the encore. Go ahead, Nicola.
Nicola's comment will probably be because he actually does have expertise in playwright at one because of things he's been doing. In that he liked that it was a good balance between the normal like tragedy and comedy as opposed to falling in one way or the other. And then it struck a
there
good
were
balance.
some serious events, but it's supposed to end on a lighter tone.
I think I was like, I enjoyed how like the serious parts sobered out the comedic parts.
Well, after the fact, probably you guys get a chance to talk. Albert Martlet's Rena's father will come up to the booth to see, and discuss it with you, and he's be like, that's the heart of comedy. Levity lifts the spirit, but you have to temper it. You can't be jokes all the time. Then the audience loses its punch.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, should I be saying something here? Sorry.
Nope. I was just leaving a
it's fine.
pause for if anyone else, but like I said, again, Inos in character will probably be discussing its merits more with the other actors and whoever asked. But me as a out of character, I really do not have much to say. I like it. I think it's neat, but
Yes.
don't necessarily
Thumbs
have
up.
to say. Enos is more interested in going to our Toll Club meeting now.
Yeah, basically, after that, you guys will adjourn, and we'll have probably a private dinner party if you have no further things to mention about the play night. Like we said, you can both throw, if you want to throw your flowers on the stage, you can do that, or you can send them backstage. It's also very typical.
I'm sending him backstage. Congratulations on the premiere and all that stuff.
Yes. Little notes, little flowers. Rena probably
You
has
didn't
normal stuff to a polite amount of thanks to give. Obviously, it's a little self-effacing for her to be too congratulatory because her father wrote and directed the play, and she has been seeing these guys practice it for months. But her joke comment to Konrad is probably the inverse of Ainara Espada's comment of just like, she jokes that it could have used more singing because she is an opera singer, but
They could have made the
I
painter
just
singer
couldn't persuade
instead.
father. She'll invent the Broadway stage musical later.
If they stop playing Rent, I'm out.
Broadway musical version.
You need the I Want song here, and the villain. You got to get a villain song there.
Okay, so
You have to hit the reprise.
Who's going to be our kingdom's version of Emmanuel Miranda so I can kill him before he starts?
Is Dallas
I
in
can
a
only
fucking tunnel?
No, Dallas stepped away from his mic. I caught the first half
Yeah.
of that, but did not catch the second.
Sorry, I said, who's our kingdom version of Lin-Manuel Miranda so I can kill him before he starts?
Don't kill him. Just poison so he can't sing.
Wow, damn. Tell us how you really feel. Anyway,
I'm
the
just
12
saying
Club
that's what
meeting.
Brad doing.
Look, I think Hamilton is good. It's gone too far. Lin-Manuel
I mean,
Miranda has
that
gone
is the
too
typical
far.
culture factor thing
Well,
of just like, this is actually good, but people get too serious.
What I'm saying is like
They're too
Dallas saying
all
he's gonna
about
kill him,
Hamilton.
so it's like it'd be better if we just make it so he can't perform.
Alexander Hamilton. Anyway, you go to a dinner party, which is secretly on a 12 club meeting. As I said, Leslok picked a venue that was close by, relatively private. You've booked out a dining establishment or something.
It's like a street or two down from here, so yeah.
You can walk or arrive by carriage.
No,
Honestly, on the slopes of the hill of Stonehearth, it's probably, even in dead summer, probably a little brisk. You guys don't have a lot of cloud to cover. So, you put on your extra layers, you run down. I guess this would be, Konrad or Inos.
If Aren doesn't mind, I'll take lead.
Go ahead.
All right,
So Konrad, one thing Konrad will provide is he does bring a floor plan of the building.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. Good.
Really good show.
But Inos will basically head up the meeting. Let everyone have, food and refreshment. Pleasure first, then business. That's how Inos likes to roll. But will then explain Konrad and his idea for opening up the second Atoll Club branch here in... What's our nation? Not the island? We're Teine, right?
The nation Teine.
We're Teine, okay. I guess I talked about this earlier. Sometimes I'm just like, wait a minute. But we'll explain his reasoning for wanting to opening up a second branch in the lands of Teine. Inos will explain that in the coming future, there will be a lot more traffic in Teine, and I expect that many more young nobles and whatnot will be coming here for various reasons. It will not be to the exact size that could be expected in Lampclair, but the times being as it is, it will always be important to have a place for, those of our generation to get away from it all. Inos will then, show the floor plans and explain the location of the area, the benefits it has, and what amenities they plan on having. Like I said, it's going to have a focus on natural beauty and relaxation, while we will have, the library and supper features of sitting areas of the Lampclair. We will also be putting more emphasis on, outdoor gardens, lakeside activities, saunas, abilities to go horseback riding in the countryside. A little club to get away from it all with the, promised security that one might expect in Lampclair. Enos does explain that the location has been already picked out, although staffing has not been done. And before it can be done, we have to actually vote on it. I think...
Yes, Princess Estelle is in attendance, and she will explain to the collected group, the bylaws that she established is to open a new branch. The members are supposed to take a vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
She will, assuming perhaps that Narissa and her have talked about it, she will, defer to Inos if he will be comfortable with a simple show of hands.
I will do whatever Estelle and Narissa wants to do. Like I said, we kind of started this plan, but Princess Estelle is the original founder, and Inos will also mention that the plans is to have Narissa head up this, what do we call it, chapter?
Yes.
To head
chair
the
chapter.
The chapter. So whatever process that they feel would be best suited for the situation, Inos will go with.
Estelle is perfectly fine with a simple show of hands. Go ahead and roll your Inspire pool.
Inspire! Let's see here. Haha, this is actually part of my mission, so fucking bonus dice!
Oh, you get to die.
Oh,
Mm-hmm!
Really good.
fuck you, Baltimore. Sorry.
Everyone does that. I think about the fucking ship girl Baltimore. Anyway, moving.
So it'll be that many dice. And
Oh hell yeah!
Damn. Solid.
everything
I
but that 10.
think for
Jesus.
persuasiveness, height is better, but you have shitloads of sets, so
If height is what matters, we'll go with the 7s.
I believe for social skills, usually height is the amount of fascination or inspiring you do. But yes, you are persuasive on an interpersonal level, as we say. And yes, I don't remember, and we don't need to go over it, if it was like supposed to be unanimous or if it's simple majority. You get the necessary votes. However, I said it before.
Rad.
And yes, so people are much muttering and then down there, probably a few of the members have some suggestions and stuff and going on and going forth. But
Konrad will be note taker.
yes. So they probably ask some casual questions about the layout, the plans. Basically you can regurgitate the selling points I gave you, out of character, in character, without us needing to actually repeat them, because I did describe the location and its benefits, and you were like, yes, we like this.
I did like.
Now it's basically like the location. What are its merits and benefits? And you're like, yes, here's what I like about it. Circular exposition. After that, I will say I was just I thought of this just now, but since the club is all gathered, I think there will be a question of recommending some new members if you are going to be having this going on in Teine. Yeah, I think actually it would be. Yeah, Pazor will bring it up first because she has been invited and is probably one of the youngest people here. She will actually put to be seconded to add Aurelia to the club.
What was the degree of relationship you had to have with a person?
I was just checking before. I think you need 2 seconding one of that doesn't need to be in your house. Let me double check. Where is that? That's the. Oh, this wasn't a separate. Okay. Sorry, I thought this was under a separate header.
I know I have the rules here somewhere. I don't know if they're all in.
Founding member. Equal standing. Invitation approved by 2 other members, one of whom has to be from a distant house. Then the one extending the invitation.
Then Inos will second Aurelia.
All right.
I see
You don't
no
have
issue
to,
with
but
this
other
one way
people
or the
could
other.
second, third, fourth, etc.
Third.
I fourth.
All right.
Well, in that case, then it's like Inos is not one to play favorites. Then he will also recommend Alestra be given membership and ask for a second.
I got Nicholas here. I think he probably is.
He is, but yeah, he's in the club.
Okay.
I'm just
But remember, he's in the same house, so
Yeah. Enos
Because I
will
think-
explain
Just-
Alestra's situation a little bit to sell her.
yeah. I'm just,
And
the only thing I'm saying she'll get a second. My main thing is just, do I want to? No, I think Paz has been in correspondence with Aurelia. She will. You backed her up, so she will immediately back you up.
excellent.
I think then the only other thing would be. Yes, I think the princess will bring this up as well, just because it does slightly round out it. It was probably no big secret about the girlfriend group, which Nicola did act as a chaperone to, but obviously the twins aren't here, which means they can't vouch for their sister. So Estelle will bring it up, on her own volition to also recommend Illyrion.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the twins aren't here, so they can't speak for their sister. But she is obviously getting more involved in things.
Yeah.
If Nicola wants
Also,
to punch in a second,
Nicola will basically sorry. Nicola will recommend Alestra if she's not already a member. I
No,
cannot
yeah, we did that
remember
already. Yeah, we just did that
genuinely.
already.
Okay, sorry,
Yes.
my brain is scrabbled.
No, it's fine.
Well, honestly,
The question now is we're pitching Illyrian Marin.
Oh yeah, no, Nicola would second that.
In the dramatic,
just
I will
'cause
add some stars.
it would feel wrong to have her be the only person in that group that isn't in there.
we previously already invited Noctiluca, right? And Lucy?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Does Lucy
I
have
don't
the
know if we
star?
voted.
No, Lucy doesn't have the star mark.
Yeah, we
but
didn't
let's go
invite
ahead
Lucy.
and add her. Let's confirm Lucy.
Yeah. Do I want to fight?
Let's go to Oro, because we did mark Paz. Yeah, we have Noctiluca's starred.
Include Vauclin? Her brother? Noctiluca's brother?
Isn't he younger?
Not by much.
He is only 15,
Okay.
but it is one of those things of like,
Like Paz is in.
Yeah.
Paz,
She's only
I
16.
thought Paz
She's the
was
same-
16.
I mean, she is, but the mechanical difference between 15 and 16 are very loose.
I also did
Pa-
think Auckland. I did think Auckland was younger than that in my head. I thought he was 12 for some
Vauclin's
reason.
only 15, but yeah. Paz was originally only recommended by Estelle. I think she discussed this with Inos earlier in the year because she was like heir to her house. She was younger than Estelle was originally planning. But now that she's in, she is developing her own circle of friends. And as you guys are well aware, Aurelia's out here doing things. So recommending her is perfectly fine. All right, so
wait, how old is Huron, by the way? I forget.
I think he's 15. He's one younger.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think. Like we got like most of the major, but it's like Vauclin and Huron. I'm
Actually,
not sure
because we did do Alestra as well. Let me star her name. Yeah, it's just a question of like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, if you start setting a precedent for bringing in younger people, then you're setting a precedent to bring younger people. The purpose of the club is to give peers room to kind of get together, meet, and form a social circle.
Yeah,
Huron is kind of in a unique space where he's already acquiring a brand new social circle.
That's true.
Better or worse.
I'm curious about I am slightly worried about Vauclin. I don't know his social groups.
What you've seen of Vauclin so far, because you've only seen him in the context of being with his sister, but he is kind of like, not like in his elder sister's shadow per se, but he is usually out there playing the role of dutiful younger sibling. So he is at appointments either to back up his sister or is in places where it's like, oh yes, terribly sorry my sister couldn't attend, I've come as well. They seem to have similar interests. You've talked with him a little, played a little quattrum with him. Socially, he doesn't really seem to strike out too far from the family, but it's not like he seems like he's, put out by it or anything. He's perfectly fine to basically trope-wise play the tag-along kid.
Yeah, no, I'll leave him be. At least maybe until he's 16. Once he's 16, maybe give him an invite.
But all right.
16, I guess, be the tentative age we expect. You can, I guess, vouch for
that seems to be the kind of precedent you're all setting.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to set new precedent by going even lower. So
yeah, like I said, Paz was an unusually low one. I think in that first meeting, because the club was very loosey goosey, Estelle even was yeah, I'm thinking about asking Paz Oro because she's younger than us, but she's also heir to her house, so it's a little bit of a big deal.
I think it's more of she is the exception, not the norm.
Yeah, but we've now extended that to include Illyrian Marin because her siblings aren't here to be part of the club, so they're kind of House Marin is a little left out right now, and you extended to include some extra Logis, which again, the team is not I should say the club is not afraid of. I'm wondering, actually, how old was... Actually, this does remind me, just to make sure we're not titting for tatting. How old is... No, Eglantine's also 15, so yeah, Egan Ferretti won't push it.
Konrad
Honestly-
with
Oh.
a blush will suggest Rena.
That's right, yes, I don't think Rena, because of Reschool's own girl posse, was not brought all the way in, I don't think. Where is Verity?
I don't think there is anyone with House Marlet here, so yeah.
I'm also looking at our own list of heirs. If we're going to be establishing the Teine one, I feel like we should basically get the heirs to the houses here. So that would include Ike, Matthias, Thorin.
True.
Let's see.
And also matters
Yes.
because she'll be here around more. She'll be here around more often in the future.
Ike. Let's see. Would anybody... Actually, yeah, no. Because Airless is in the club. She would definitely, on personal grounds, would back up Mattis Gladwin.
Mm-hmm.
I
suppose.
And I think Ike would, because Ike is of your generation, and while she didn't come with you to the Rising Dragon Festival this year, she was with you in the Fateful Year, so she is known to all of these guys.
Yeah.
I think actually, I think Leslok just said it, but to say also Everhelm is not a member, and he is the Marquess's Cavalier, so that's a little awkward.
Yeah.
That's fair. He should. Yeah.
If you want to bring him up, I think either Narissa or Estelle will vouch for him just to be like that would be, yeah, that would be more appropriate.
He would have been at the play, so I'm not sure if he's just outside the building. I'm not gonna think.
Well, it's a dinner party. We're not actually in, you know.
It's not actually
No,
a
fair.
clubhouse meeting. Like he can
fair.
have excused himself, or he could just be standing in the background. And that's like you said. Well, while we're discussing it, hey, my Cavalier, and he's like, hello, it's me, Everhelm.
All right, Everhelm, you can take your hands off your ears.
What?
That's good. My whistling practice was getting a little too boring. just sitting in the back room whistling loudly.
But yeah, Everhelm, Matthias, Ike, and Thorin, I believe, would be all of our, because we already got Alestra, and Lucy is the head of her house, but she's already in.
Yes.
So I believe that'd be all the heir
Thank
these
Thorin.
to our major houses, and the So
Since Airless helped us, does she need support for anyone to get in?
Actually, that is a good question. Who is an A in the block? That's what I was going to double check as well. So she's in. Agnar's in. Let's get Douglas Blake in here because he wasn't at the founding of the club, so we'll get him recommended as well.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Around
Nicola
that.
is going to recommend someone. I just have to get her name. She threatened to stab me a couple of times.
Oh, you want to loop Agave Cheval in this?
No, not her. Agave Cheval hasn't threatened to stab me.
You
I
sure?
don't know who
Yeah, I'm
else
pretty sure.
might have tried to stab you.
No, she didn't actually have anything in her hands when she did. I'm just sorry. Very
He
bad
threatened to do so.
names.
What house?
I think it's Biscone, Aspel Biscone.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is not here right now, but we can consider it.
Well, I just because I know House Marin is very light staffed, I wanted to try and help out with that. She's the retainer with the
She's
spear,
already in
right?
the club. Yeah, she's got a star.
Okay,
Absolutely.
she is. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you can see this. We track this with our stars by their name. Yeah.
now Inos was making
Gotcha.
sure that all of our Logi houses were representative, so I don't think Inos has anyone else.
Which of the Marin heirs are here?
It's just Illyrian. Oh, actually,
Just
no. For the rest of the
oh
heirs,
no, I mean for the
young,
house heirs. 'Cause
Niles
maybe
Corb is, but
Leah-
he is 15, so that would be
Yeah,
below
he's another
your.
young one.
I don't think Marin did not bring a huge coterie because
Yeah, I know that.
it's summer and they're operating on it. So I believe that's it for the heirs on the guest list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Through. House
Because
40
the only
people
other
sit
one
on
I know
it.
that I've met, the only other one I know that
There's a
I've met
couple.
is Morse, but
Let's
I don't believe I've
see.
met Chimera Celeste.
Oh, actually, they didn't. Will they'll
Or
formalize it because she
Kamara
wasn't
Celeste.
before, but we'll involve Ainara Espada in there. Well, because that's one that's like
Let's
pretty obvious
see.
with Estelle and Paloma, but she wasn't formally invited. We're gonna leave Rodrigo out
Does-
because he's a little older.
Does Hector Cheval want any of his compatriots from House Cheval? They seem a bit light in the club.
It is
Answer, there's
true.
only
Let
one.
us
There's only the
check.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, because Hector was there. Well, let me check everybody's ages. His younger sister is only 15, so we'll leave that out. You've met a
There's
few
Ben
of these.
Saran, but I don't know anything about.
He'll probably recommend you met them pre-time skip. He'll probably
Okay.
ask about getting let's see, who would he pick actually? Hector. You got to think. You got to think tactically. Sorry, you're giving this guy some political things to think about. This is important.
Teenage politics, but
He
politics
would
no
he
less.
would ask about you've met her a couple of times. Irene Roche. I think actually she's here. That'll be another good one to pick. Heir to House Roche. And not present, but I think he would probably want to include would he? No, he would suggest Rocco Faucon, who's not present, but that's the second son of House Faucon. Because they're the same age, they're friends.
So we can make a letter.
Sounds fine.
I'll tag a couple more. Sorry, I burped. All right.
How do we feel
Also, yes,
about?
I texted something subtly.
And in case you didn't pick it up, I was looking over Freddy and I said they could go sit on it.
They also they have two, and like I said, the only
Yeah.
one that Egan would go to bat for would be his younger sister Eglantine, and like we said, we're cutting off at 15.
Yeah.
So Inos has a question. He kind of brings this up with Estelle and Larissa. How do we feel about inviting other kindred in? Like maybe ones that are not, attached to a house, as in, Enos's particular situation.
Estelle will give a very politely worded, but I think definitive response that it is the policy of her father, the High King, that we are in a phase of being welcoming and even insistent on the inclusion of the kindred, and that we have much to learn from each other, and so that if there is however odd it may seem, if there is a member of the kindred who would be considered a social peer, then invitations would be fine. It would be, she thinks that it would follow the same rule as the house would be, basically from the kin.
Okay.
So you'd need some outside people to go to bat for. I would say this, if you're thinking about it, Pazar would probably not necessarily recommend her attendant Ramil for this, because that's probably a little too fancy pants for him.
No, I'm just considering.
You're thinking high level thoughts, yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna.
Esteemed lady, would you like to join a special club?
Oh no, I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna invite Phaedon Goldenplume. Get that shiny ass boy in here. Bet he love this.
Honestly,
It'd be so funny for him. Yeah, you could try that.
I'm not. Well, I'm not. But Enos
Not
is
right
having
now, but yeah.
Enos is having thoughts.
He's thinking.
To make sure I'm saying this out of character,
Yes.
the Fairy Queen.
Oh, that's who I was suggesting.
I would recommend more Elsifer, but that's a bit too close. So like maybe someone like of her.
Yeah,
own
but
peers,
here's the
that's fine.
question: we're in specific age groups. Remember, Aesifer is 18 question mark.
She's
You're
relatively
pretty
18.
sure she's 8. She's equivalent to 18 years old. You don't know if she's literally been alive for 18 years because the other side is weird. But
I mean,
you're
the
pretty
Fairy
sure
Queen
she's
just
18.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining the Fairy Queen just pops up the meeting. I'm 21 forever. It's like, oh.
I'm 21 second season.
Do we even have social connotations about ages of women?
Sorry,
Probably.
you didn't see it, but when I said I'm 21 forever, I did the peace sign over my eyes.
Perfect. You got to be careful. If the Fairy Queen does the thing where she winks and shoots a star out of her eye, that's an actual
literal
attack.
star.
That's within killing damage.
Yeah, you would
Literal
be able.
It's a literal Ripper Stingery Eyes attack.
That's actually
Anyway.
cast Meteor.
I do want to
no,
say
yeah,
we have.
it's an actual.
I mean, I
star.
will say one thing. If you do breach that, despite what Conrad muttered to himself, Egan Ferretti will bring up he does have a new like social. No, he wouldn't call her a hanger-on. That's too rude. But like he does have a fairy attendant who is supposed to be attending social meetings with him, which is Lady Florimel. What was her full name? Me?
I feel like this become too.
I mean,
much of a
Conrad's not
thing.
going to second it. He. I think actually, let me look at Egan's stats. Hold on. How much empathy do you have, my guy?
Good.
You're not in. Egan isn't acting like he's in enemy territory, but he also, I feel like, gets the vibe that he's on thin ice with House Logi. So he's not going to make any waves, but it's definitely the kind of thing where like Inos asks that question. Estelle gives a very public response. Sense 3, no empathy. Yeah, no. He won't push hard for it, but he would definitely like bring it up as an idea because he's just like, well, if we're thinking in that line, you know. But she is. Where is my? I have a tab for guest list. So I just got to find it. There we go. Guest list.
I mean, if she's a guest and she's part of the social circle, I don't see any reason why not.
I mean, that's like one of the things. I
Sit
don't
down.
think like Enos would personally, second such an idea,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't speak against it.
No, Nicola will second it. Why not? Why the hell not? I'm at least somewhat more friendly with the Freddy house than the rest of us.
So I will say, Nicola, when you second it, there's a slam on the table from over where Conrad is, and he just glares at you.
Well, I mean, you guys would probably be at the same table, so if you want to kick him in the shin,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Push
would
him out of
do
just push him out of his chair.
Wouldn't quite
step
go that
on his
far.
foot.
No. Nicola will pretend not to notice that, but obviously notice it. So
I
Nicola
mean,
flinches.
Well,
but
so we're getting fairy in this. I think just as like as a tone setter, he's like, Princess Estelle says, very well. Seconded an improved invitation to Miss Florimel Malibu, and then just
Oh, jeez.
she just
Conrad,
steps in.
No, Conrad goes, "Oh, Hydrus," and then just before she appears,
Nicola goes, wait,
no,
oh, wait.
Conrad
Nicola almost
catches
goes
it,
like,
she just
Nicola
steps
goes,
through a curtain.
oh, wait.
Pronoxius fire. What are we doing?
No,
Hello, pleasure to meet you all. Handshakes all around. Hello, Florimel Malibu. Knight of the Chase. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
good to meet you.
Hey.
Nicola will look
Hands.
vaguely sheepishly at Conrad and go,
Princess Estelle is looking very professionally nonplussed, very neutral face of like, okay, all right, okay. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Like, I'm gonna do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Susurrus so I could basically quietly tell Nicola you have to ask her to politely leave now.
I
No.
I didn't invite her here.
Nicola did not invite her per se. That was
Okay.
when Princess
That was
Estelle
Estelle
reads out her
invited
name.
her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She
All right.
like I said,
No, yeah.
instantly steps through the curtain like she was waiting the whole time.
No,
Okay.
I am never going to. Once again, I know Nicola has a reputation. One of the few things I know about is fairies.
Fair. We did have this. We had the conversation
Literally one of the few things Nicola has a good
Yeah.
grasp on.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
and I
That's
will,
why
I
Nicola
will say,
went
while he used her first name, Egan would have probably been very careful to be like either say Lady Malibu or be like my new attendant Florimel. Like, how do we want to handle that? And then Nicola,
Nicola would
like,
definitely refer to as Lady, only as Lady Malibu.
Yeah, it's when Estelle says her full name as like, all right, well, we acknowledge. She's just like, I've been invited.
Like,
Hello,
she said
I'm here.
No, like honestly, think about it. While Asaphor
Where'd that pop come from?
while Asaphor would be fun, Asaphor is just kind of in our terms, just kind
He's
of
just a homie.
it's like as an esquire, an attendant. She wouldn't necessarily have the
Yeah,
standing
no.
to be here.
No.
While the lady of the
Like, Lady Meadowbow is an actual attendant.
yeah, so
She is a knight. And you were, yeah, no, I think it would have come up in conversation because I did mention it. It's in my notes. She is the daughter of Saturnine, the Knight of, I think it's Friendship. Is it Friendship?
Yeah,
or
we've
Brotherhood?
met
Yes.
him. He is
Yes.
very strong personality.
You've met him, but he was not. Compared to the previous couple of fairy knights you met, he was like the nicest of the guys you met in Claire. And we're like, that wasn't so bad.
He was nice, but he was also very similar, in at least in Nicola's opinion, he's very similar to the Fairy Queen, where he can be nice because he knows he has power. He was the guy who showed up with the message,
I was
right?
gonna make a joke when talking about speed with Saturnines, where I think I've mentioned this before, but I may not have, where I was gonna say he was gonna crack a joke about, the last time somebody ran so fast was that guy with boots.
Yeah.
And imply that he got into a foot race with Logi Torchbearer. Which again, by the way, would be really old.
Is it bad that that you said that and I pointed out myself for like boots?
No. I listen. I gave you something to think about.
Yeah.
I put forth Drain Declan.
nice. She's the Iron Demon from the Circle of Gluttony who works as a chef in the area.
Yeah, on that
we can work
message,
in honestly.
I'm gonna let. Oh, sorry.
I was about to say I was actually gonna suggest it, but so I can't second it either. So, but I'm staring.
I'll do it. I'll second.
Enos is giving off a vibe of someone second that.
It's like, I know that. I know that person. I'll second it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start.
I'm gonna, because I think Paz is a smart cookie. I'm gonna let her suggest the person who I think she's gonna maybe suggest.
Oh no! I just said that she's not gonna bring up Romuald. He is an auspice, but he's a caster. Like this is.
Oh right.
This is not his social circle.
Nope. Right. Sorry, he's in my nerd fan group. I forgot.
Yeah.
Doesn't overlap here.
Kaleno probably is gonna have a more permanent post here. Do I? Like I mentioned in chat, I'm wondering if I want to actually invite her. I don't think she has any particular. She is marked for greatness, but I don't think she has any particular lineage.
I mean, not that the Harpuya necessarily do it that way, but her mother is ranked as a queen. That's the whole point of discussion you had. She's, Aren is the head of like 3 or 4 nests. I think it was discussed in that whole big kindred meeting.
Yeah, no, then yes, then Enos will bring up a Kaleno. Like
Estelle will second that if no one else does.
I'll third.
Let other people second, because I already put my phone.
My patron is good to me.
Yes, no, I mean you are a patron, but also that works out very well for her because
you're a patron.
Kaleno is technically in her brother's circle, but Estella's talked about it. She's not gonna go through with it right now tonight because you're doing a lot of adding, but she has talked about whether or not to invite her brothers to this powwow.
I was actually wondering about Alias and Menaeus, but this is Estelle's project, so I didn't want to.
It's really weird. I feel way more confident inviting Menaeus just because of the age thing. Because I think isn't Alias like a bit older than us?
Alias is.
I thought he was like 25.
No,
23.
23.
Okay.
Might be pushing.
I think
21. Estelle is 19 right now.
Well, as I recall, Alias did something to make Estelle specifically not include him.
Yeah.
Yes, he I believe because he helped fund this project with her. Like he helped arrange it in private, but I believe he said that he wanted her to get established before he got in because he didn't want to make it seem like it was his social club.
Yeah, so we
Honestly,
probably should
with
have
us having a second branch, it might be time.
I would definitely want to invite Menaeus, but also not bring his name up because I would feel like that would be overstepping.
No, we should definitely leave that to the princess to decide. She knows best in this situation.
But I will say this: if she brings up Alias, I will immediately suggest Menaeus.
Well, like I said,
I think she would probably be discussing them as a unit because I think
Yeah.
much as you have noticed, she would be willing to be a
It's
little
deep.
frank with the team. We're all supposed to be like friends and sociable here. She would
With
be
their
like,
dick measuring
you,
contest?
you may have noticed that they tend to go a pair. They tend to appear to contrast. It would not be proper to invite one without inviting the other.
No.
It's just a question of whether or not we want to be
Yeah.
moving the social circles. That would also even if we didn't invite her right, she also not
Yeah, that
even if
does
she
get
wasn't invited
Agave
right
Cheval
away,
in
the
there.
moment Alias is invited, Agave Cheval is going to be invited as well.
Appears.
Excuse me.
She-
Her name was already on the list.
I think we should discuss them being joined in once the actual second branch has been established properly.
Well, like I said,
That seems like a good one. Yes, you voted to open it, but you do have to staff it. So
Yes.
it's a thing that
I'm
Estelle
going to
has in
leave
her
that
mind.
into Estelle's hands because she is very capable and
Well, specifically, we're leaving it in Narissa's
good at this.
hands. She is going to be the
That's
chapter
true.
head, and Lady Rosenrot is going to be vetting staff and stuff. But that probably means that the Atoll Club will not actually probably be finished by the end of Summer Court. Like I said, because we got to put in the final touches. But if people want to go find a place to hang out, we can probably wing something. Just you cannot expect the level of service that one would expect in Lampclair anytime soon. I would say.
And Narissa will say that she will do her
Well, a month or
utmost to
two.
make sure that Dame Rosenrod is taking the security seriously. Is certain that at the very least we will all leave here, assured that the new clubhouse will be functional.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would normally offer my lodgings, but occupied.
Occupado.
Yeah.
And we now I think somebody would crack a joke. I don't know who in the background. Probably maybe Airless Ache, because she feels close enough to the house she could get away with it. She would probably make some remark about we all know how you would that house to be occupied.
I can't even fight that.
But I think
Good, you
I think
shouldn't.
we're good here on the Atoll Club. I think.
I think we're at the top of the hour too.
Well, we're a little past the top of the hour actually.
Yeah. We went.
I
we're
mean-
about because we started the session at around a half hour. We're at 2:30, but we can. It
Oh,
is
fair.
probably a good time for another.
Yes. All right. So I'm
For
pausing
me
the
to-
recording.
whatever
Yeah.
comes next.
Okay, we're back. All right. Well, we bring the Atoll Club meeting to a ending. You guys go about your beeswax, and it's now the Deus Day, the end of the week. So, guess what? Some of you have plans. Specifically, Konrad is wanting to take primarily Rena and Huron, but anybody else who will go for a little jaunt down to Castle Sjorberg, which is as seen from our new map, is a day trip.
Yep.
You have lovely high quality roads, so you can make it in a good time, but it is a whole day trip to schlorp your way down to the coast.
Inos would like to tag along and bring along the South Wind.
Yes, I was going to say is you're planning on doing that because you're going to show him Lorelei Rock.
Yes. With
That is
Conrad's
Mr.
permission, I will say.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do it.
No, I'm in the wrong.
I have to remember.
zone.
I
The
have to
guest
remember
list is
that's
after
under-
the calendar.
This is
It's me. I'm smelting my brain.
because Conrad.
Am
is
I
the
stupid?
No, not
custodian.
smelting.
Smelting.
Chat, am I cooked? Am I dumb?
If you are, we're all fucked.
You're just like me.
True. Here we go. Here's the one I was looking for because I wanted to make sure I've got that guy's name because he is Daria Korb. All right. Anybody else want to go on the Sjorberging? The Sjorberging.
Honestly, I should go and then maybe just move the meetings to a different day.
Logesh
Listen,
will
if you
not.
want.
Nicola will
you
not.
doing?
Although, if Enos mentions the Lorelei Rock thing, he would ask if he could extend an invitation to. My brain died. Never mind. Ignore me.
If you're gonna say Lady Marin, I was gonna Enos
No,
would
I was
elect
not going to say Lady Marin.
the youngest one.
No, it was not.
Okay.
I can't remember who I was going to suggest.
Okay.
Like, my brain literally just went, nope, you're not remembering.
Actually,
So I don't.
I could just come up. Me and Narissa could go. I'll ask her if she wants to come.
You could if you want to, sure. You
Yeah,
you have already discussed some plans up and down to spend some time out.
Yeah. Omega, can we just move the meetings of House Marin and House Cheval to like the Verm's day after
You don't have to worry about that.
Curious? All right.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the when and the how and that sort of. Well, you may have to worry about the exact when because I still don't know when. I don't know when the moon and the stars will be right for Enos to have his talk with Lady Marin. But
It's still gonna be a little bit.
at some point, you'll be.
Yeah, I'll just do it after the privy
You've got
council.
free days for purposes.
That's it. I'll do it Vern's Day or
3
Oakham
days
Day.
for
Probably Vern's Day because it's like I'll know where they are so I can just have that organized.
All right. Well, I don't know how much specific role playing of things, but I'm sure the team has things they want to discuss. Huron is also going, but this is the joke in my head I thought of earlier today. I was thinking about, but Huron is in training to be a royal guard, so he has the uncanny ability to chameleon his way into the background whenever an important conversation he shouldn't be listening to is suddenly happening. So if Konrad wants to talk about romantical stuff with Rena, he will just I should update everybody on the progress of Castle Sjorberg since you were going. It's been you've been made the Castellan what for 3 months now, Konrad?
I think it's only 2.
Like pretty early when you got back. So the workmen are hard at work. You will see a few of them, out and about, even on this day at the end of the week. They'll probably take the Souls Day off, but otherwise they're out here working. So the previously mentioned wreckage of the original gatehouse has all been cleared, and there's probably strings of twine and wooden scaffolding marking out where the new gatehouse and gate are going to go. Probably still working on clearing a lot of, bramble and brush away from the walls and out of the inner courtyard. But they've been making sure to, open up all the buildings, air everything out, and, lots of work is being done to, build scaffolds to survey and, repair and replace the major structural walls and that sort of thing right now. Going about their business.
Yeah, Konrad will definitely, show everyone how the castle's progressing, explain what's the plan is for certain places and stuff like that. He also greets the work crew as well.
They are polite but friendly in, I think, the typical Teine way, like, oh, my lord, tip of the cap.
My lord.
Brought you a few extra bottles of rations for dinner tonight. AKA, he brought a couple.
He's a good one. This one.
He brought him a couple barrels of ale.
You're a good soul, sir.
You're doing good work.
Put your backs into it, men. You're like, oh, huzzah, etc.
Did you bring the red chicken? No. Let's see. One thing that he'll probably use. Connor will probably use this moment to bring up to Rena. Is requesting some sort of token for when the tourney happens, so that everyone knows I'm fighting for her.
She will probably go ahead and has, I assumed a monogrammed handkerchief. She will probably go ahead and give it to you now. And if Konrad says anything, she'll be like, nothing at all. Think of it. Don't worry about it. You can show my favor at the in public at the fair as well. So give it to you like a week early to start walking around with it.
Okay, that's good. It's probably one of the moments where Hurin fades into the background, but
Yeah.
Other than the castle
Sorry,
itself,
I'm just picturing, Huron, probably not bodily because Ignis is a pretty smart dog, but just like Huron just, is like, come on, Ignis, just whoop, lean back out of the scene.
Konrad will probably also show off a few of the some of the landscapes. Particularly, he does have that kind of area of wetlands with all the birds and stuff like that.
Yes.
But of course, the most important thing he then shows off would be Lorelei Rock.
We look at the rock.
The Rock looks back. What?
The camera looks at the rock. No, the rock doesn't look back. So Inos, you want to have a conversation with Darya Korb. You gonna go down the stone cut steps and row out to the rock, or are you gonna do it from the cliffside?
There is a rowboat down there.
Yeah,
Yes, there are stone cut steps all the way down to a stone quay.
Yeah, we'll take the fucking steps.
All right. Meanwhile, I think, as Leslok did say, he would take Narissa on this. I expect you two are probably riding in the foothills, exploring.
Yeah. So
She probably says something like, yes, let's see. I wonder how far this land goes. Oh, what did you say? Darling, what did you say the survey marker was? And just, I not to be too what's the word, tongue-in-cheek about it, but I think most people would recognize Konrad is not necessarily the most socially forthcoming, so they all make sure to give him all the space he needs to say what he needs to say, sort of thing.
Konrad blush.
Yes. I think on the way down from the steps, Darya will give Inos the like elevator pitch of how the Order of the Navigator works.
Yes.
He says that they're in myth and religion there are 8 winds known as the Anemoi.
Oh, there's 8.
The 8 directions created by the Sky Mother, governed by Oceanus, master of wind and wave. And as a result, the Ordo has 8 circles, which basically they, divide up their business with. And, they are each named after a wind in its cardinal direction. So he's from Notus, the circle of the south wind. The south wind is described as hot and dry, but also brings storms. They are the Ordo's diplomats. They primarily concern themselves with the merfolk, but also, work on discussing matters with other high houses whenever, the Wind Witch's relationship is needed there. And other relationships with kindred they have, mostly the Harpuya and Lizardmen they encounter. He will, Darya Korb will fully admit that this is the first time he has excised his official capacity with an Iron Demon.
Well, it is quite strange circumstances, the truth be told.
Yes.
I will say that Inos has not shown him the relic yet. He has brought it along.
Yeah, you've probably got a small reliquary chest.
Yes.
Like I said, he'll make conversation and run through what the other circles are. Boreas is the north wind. That's the coldest and harshest, associated with, winter storms and stuff. You guys probably know all about Boreas up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Circle of Boreas is charged with leadership and internal discipline. They are the ones who, police their own, enforce punishments against those who go against doctrine, but also they are responsible for seeking justice of those who act against Wind Witches. And they tend to take on a higher level organization. So they, manage making sure, which members are assigned to what circles, make it, if you need a neutral party for who should get promoted inside your circle, you go to Boreas. They also oversee assignment of Wind Witches to individual ships under the House and the King's Navy.
Okay.
Zephyrus is the east wind, the gentlest, associated with spring. It's their largest circle because it's their circle related to the training and growth of novitiates and adepts and their promotion to magister and their ongoing training. And thus they administer the two most common services of wind witches, which is making ships go fast and bearing messages. So they are the the largest because they are training and they handle the common services. Urus is the west wind, bringer of rains and storms. Of the cardinal four, it is the oldest but the smallest. The west wind, the wind of storms, is the one that Lady Marin offered to deal with the Ivory Corsairs because they are the militant section of the Ordo. They are the ones who train in self-defense. They, practice arts to protect wind witches in service. So they are the one who supply non-wind witch bodyguards to wind witches and also, act in their thing. And they offer, naval training for wind witches who go into the service of the King's Navy. And if there was ever a matter which would require the Ordo to perform military action, they would lead the charge, which, like I said, Darius had some nice letters with you, Inos. You guys are in a private conversation. He would say that, while it is very proper and respectful for the Baroness to offer the service of Urus, they would probably be interested in striking out at the Ivory Corsairs anyway. If they learned of this, first of all, there's the business with this syndicate and their use of the Thorn Manacle on.
I was actually going to ask about
Captain Nitona.
I was actually thinking about asking Nitona if like her injustice would spark them to witches, even though she dropped out. Basically?
Yes, she is no longer a formal member of the Ordo because she did not. Like I said, she has flawed attunement. It's not to say that she failed her final exam, but she shouldn't do as well as she could have. And, rather than have to basically stay on the Order at a lower rung, she was like, fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a strong, independent woodwinch who don't need no Ordo. Oh, no.
With blackjack.
I needed that Ordo.
I have been leaving my structural support system has left me vulnerable to predatory elements.
My hubris.
So yes, she's not a member of the Ordo, but she is no matter what an attuned wind witch. So Boreas and the like would be a little mad about that. But he talks a little bit about their belief system as it is kind of one of the major factors of Okeanos as master of wind and wave. The winds are free, the 8 winds. Okeanos commands them, but he cannot bind them. He cannot stop them, right? The wind blows no matter what. It's just a matter of what direction from, sort of a thing.
Yeah, I get it.
So the wind witches are really against slavery. It is a thing that they have always been fundamentally against. I mentioned that Urus is the oldest. That was the first thing the Wind Witches did, was they learned the secrets of wind and wave so they could avoid being, press ganged by the piratical types, moving up and down the Islas Viento before House Marin kind of crystallized. And also got their shit together to fight the Navy of the Lost Empire, who, being a Roman stand-in, did have a Roman-style system of, are you a military prisoner? Cool. You are a slave caste until you either can buy your way out or your, masters pay you enough to be let out, kind of a thing. So they're not cool with that. So yeah, if they hear about this, they are going to be, chomping at the bit to jump in on this.
Well, with Lady Marin's help and the West Wind, we probably will have the naval bit locked out, so we probably will take up Lady Marin on that. Probably. A little scary.
The other 4 winds, the non-cardinals, are smaller, more specialized, but he briefly covers them. There is Caicus, the northeast wind, bearer of the shield. They are personal safety of the Order and House Marin. They train and employ cavaliers and other bodyguards for wind witches, like I said, and they teach their lessons of how to be vigilant for supernatural threats, such as various sea monstrum, the Ketos and other stuff like that. The legendary Kraken.
The Kraken. Release it.
Water dragons and the like. Apeliotes is the southeast wind, symbolized by the rising sun. They are responsible for doing the things you'd expect from a religious ordo involving the common man, alms, charity work, supporting local trades and businesses, acquiring supplies for the rest of the ordo through trades and collection, donations. Skyron is the northwest wind, symbolized by the cauldron, the approach of winter, known as the clearing wind. They are associated with health and well-being, the greater logistics of the ordo.
Oh, okay.
They hire staff, drudges. They also find, aspirants, look for other servants to maintain the order's holdings, and, acquire and prepare daily resources such as food, clothing, and lodging.
Almost seems a little bit of perfect fit for Nicola if he had gone Wind Witch.
Nicola probably has met some members of the ordo because he has, done a little bit of studying wind witchery on the side, learned a few tips and tricks.
You ever want me?
And the final is Africus, the circle of the southwest wind, which, yes, is, by the way, why in real life Africa is named that way. It's referring to the southwesterly direction. This wind is usually depicted at the rear of a ship, so they are charged with looking back and keeping the order's history. So they are the record keepers. They maintain records, charts, etc., both for the order and for House Marin. Daria Korb adds that they are occasionally charged with gathering new information. And let me check the houses. Did we put this section in already under Okeanos? And if not, we will do that. No, okay. So I will copy this header under the Okeanos section. I gotta edit my header because it's too big. We got a header 6. Okay, here you go. 8 wins.
Neat.
All right.
That was definitely informative. Inos probably, ask, small questions here and there, but is pretty content to let the Southwind talk. He will probably ask more about.
Good.
He will probably ask more about the Southwind duties and if he speaks to Mur often. And I know he's talked about a little bit in his letters, but Inos doesn't have a very good idea of Mur society, I guess it were. So Inos is curious.
That he can definitely backfill you in a little.
Yeah.
He mentions that since he's now the head of the circle, he usually only personally speaks with Mur now these days if it's something very big and formal.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was coming up in his circle, he spent a lot more time as a runner and as a liaison. And yes, he can fill in Inos on some aspects of Mur society.
Okay.
They have a conch king, they have a monarch. He does specify that much like the office of the High King, the conch king is referred to with the word king in Crownish, but can technically be either gender. Below that, they have a similar role to King's High Council, the Council of Currents.
Oh, okay.
They are a circle of advisors, elders, but also priests and sorcerers.
Okay.
And basically, the Conch King is not picked solely by lineage, but picked by the Council of Currents as being the Mur who is best suited to be the Conch King at any given time. And he will explain this as should the Mur, for instance, be in a position of war and they need to pick a new Conch King, they will pick the Conch King who is of their royal bloodlines the most worthy of being a military leader. Should they be faced with a crisis of disease or famine, they will find the one who is the best at logistics. If they are in a time of peace, they elect a conch king who is, the best at diplomatics and day-to-day management.
Get the diplomancer. Okay, neat. So they're flexible with their conch king.
Yes, it is not they have a bloodline. The Conch King is said to be descendants of the original Mer as created by Okeanos. You know, the first eggs they were laid, but again, it is not a strict 1-to-1 sort of a thing.
Okay.
Below that, you know, the Mer are let's see, they're not a what's the phrase, like a strictly caste-based society, but they do kind of like fall into, you know, job roles mainly. You know, they have like herders and farmers at their lowest level. They raise schools of fish, fin or shellfish. They grow their crops like their seaweeds and sea grains. You know, they even have, you know, Dario would mention, they even have, you know, underwater vegetables basically.
Cool.
But also they carefully cultivate, you know, shellfish, which can produce pearls and sea silk and the like. They have, you know, hunters who go out and catch larger fish, which cannot be, you know, kept in. He does mention that the merfolk do have the equivalent of domesticated animals. They are able to train certain species of sharks by feeding them regularly, and they are basically have an equivalent to domesticated dogs among mer culture. And they also have the hippocamp as a beast of burden, the seahorse.
Oh, that sounds rad.
Yeah. And Inos may or may not know. You've talked a little. They actually have their coastal cadet branch is like one house of Cheval has actually managed to figure out the Mer thing about hippocamp and has small amounts of aquatic cavalry. There is in fact also a whole. It's called Flying Mount because it goes both way, but there is an esoteric for weird mounts.
Yeah, I remember it.
But yeah, mostly he would probably remark on the things that Inos would find interesting. That yes, their working with metals is very limited because obviously you can't stoke a forge fire underwater. So they mostly have to make do with cold forging. You know, soft metals. They're very fond of certain blends of copper and bronze because while they do like verdigris, they do not corrode in water. Whereas like if you put pure iron in salt water, it's gonna rust and rust away. So, you know, technically there are certain blends of steel, like some proper Norland steel would last longer. But yeah, copper, bronze, and the like do not. Even I think brass is like corrosion resistant. So they like to do a hardy trade in that respect. And he does mention that, you know, Mer are they are people who are, you know, how would he phrase this? He would probably liken them to you know, waves on the water. You know, imagine, you know, a water guy makes an analogy, I know, but he's like, you know, imagine you're in a bathtub, right? You know, the Mer are like the water; they push and pull with you. If they are pushed back, they return with the same force. So, like, if humans get too close to disrupting their fisheries or their, you know, their quote unquote fields of seaweed or shellfish, you know, they may push back. They may anywhere from politely requesting to violently poking. You know, back. They will, if they are, you know, hard up on supplies, they will raid. In a similar way, I think, to you know, the old Norlish cultures. He makes no mention about, you know, the Marin style of gathering resources. We're definitely not the pirates who hate pirates.
Yeah.
Or privateers.
Well, yes,
Oh,
also I mean, to put a finer
when
point on
pirates are government, or when pirates are government sanctioned, they're called privateers.
Yeah, I mean that is officially House Marin's stance, which is anything that resembles piracy they only do it in certain to the King's Navy. They are not pirates. Officially.
We have lines. We don't
That's
cross.
basically the stance of the real world too. So,
Well, yeah. But if at the same time, if you are kind and respectful to the Mer, they respond in kind. They tend to recover things that are lost at sea if they can. If the Mer come across a human sailor who is drowning and they are not pissed off at their local humans, they will usually rescue him, sort of a thing. And they have a certain flow of trade. He does remind you, if you didn't know, that the merfolk literally will dry out if they're out of water too long.
Yes. Inos remembers that.
But they can live at like very high water pressures.
Oh yeah, they can.
And in colder temperatures too.
Yes. They can dive deep. They breathe fully underwater. They can breathe fully water and air, so they can go down anywhere that's airless. And they're not afraid to, if it's damp enough, to go above water. They will go into the marshes and deltas of Lagartia. Like, there's actually a distant, but there is a trade cycle between them and the lizard folk.
Okay.
Because the lizard folk like teeth. Shark teeth. Very distinct. He would mention probably that their official currency is they use cowrie shells as currency. They taught it to some of the houses of men. And yes, he would also, probably about the time you guys make landfall at Lorelei Rock, would be mentioning that, yes, the simp. Nowadays we have a pretty robust system. And being in character, he's an islander. He should be, a little southern, perhaps just a little bit French. But he mentions that nowadays, the Ordo has very strict communication protocols, which is, as he explained in the letter, but he will say again, typically, you go to a place where Mer are. How do you know there are Mer there? Well, somebody's eating your fish, and also you hear singing, usually. Mer sing a lot, both below the waves and above the waves. Occasionally this causes a problem because some humans find Mer singing exceptionally beautiful and try to, capture them. This usually doesn't go well for a variety of reasons, and it is the official policy of the Ordo that this is no good, and they will blast your ass.
That's no good.
They will, wrap themselves in sea cloth, jump, boatman's leap out onto your boat, and start casting wind sword. Because they can shoot wind blasts fast enough to cut you up. Also, honestly, they also have a lot of mobility skills. Wind witches know a lot about swimming because they have to work with Mer and water and can make themselves better at it with spells. Again, no rule in this universe. There's no basic training if you're a sailor, a merchant marine, that you just blasting your ass prone and knocking you off a boat with wind is also usually pretty bad. People do not have a good time. So yes, you do not kidnap Mer. That's bad. But usually what you do, you go to a place where Mer are, and you throw them messages. The typical way is so they'll sink is you'll get wax or clay tablets or hardened clay tablets because they are not harmed by water. There are certain inks and preparations of skins, hides you can do. He mentions the classic message in a bottle trick.
Mm-hmm.
You bob them out a message to keep it waterproof. They can catch it and open it on their own. And they will return the favor. The usual way they return messages is respond right away. Is they will float up messages. They will put return tablets in like baskets that float. They will bottle their own messages. How much Mer do you speak right now? You got a die or two in it?
I got a few. I got
okay.
Yeah. I got 3.
Okay, yeah. So you're decently conversational. Mer does have a Mer does have a written form. Merfolk are bad at it. Their written form of Mer is almost entirely like a loan from a mix of Crownish and Lizard folk language, because again, writing is not very natural to them. Written medium. Usually the way they do it is, like I said, they have cottoned onto things like wax tablets and the like. So Daria would mention that sending written messages is sometimes slow because they have to, deliver it to somebody who can.
I'm gonna bump it to 4.
But usually, if you're in a populated place, you will get a response back in a day or two. There were some older methods that we could dig up. Magical techniques and exchanges back and forth. Wind witches can bear a message on the wind to find a person. So if you know a merfolk you wish to speak to, you can send messages that way. They have an uncanny ability to transmit their own messages back through bodies of water. Spoilers, there's probably, much like how there's the whispers on the wind, there's probably a Prima Aqua spell that's just water sending.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like,
And like he says, there was a very obscure technique that's not practiced anymore because it was, unfortunately, just as troublesome to permit. But wind witches, animists could practice a spell where they perform their own version of the Mer song. The problem is you need to be attuned for this properly, because you have to stick your head underwater. So if you are not attuned, you tend to inhale mouthfuls of seawater.
Yes, that seems very poor for speaking.
Yes, it's so it is no longer practiced. He's kind of looking around on it. Do you want to show him the caves inside?
Yes.
You've cleaned them up. Okay, yeah. So,
because I want to specifically show him the jeweled room. I can't remember what it was actually called. And the room with the corpses in it. I can't remember what they're called.
That was the Coral Garden. I think the other one is the Star Chamber.
Yes.
Let me. Oh, I'm in my own notes side, not my plot document side.
I'll also show him the location where the fucking egg sacs were, and we'll explain
that room. By the way, is first of all much less sinister.
Mm-hmm.
No longer smells like alcohol, but unless no, I don't think you guys would have gone back to clean it. The walls are stained grease black.
Yeah.
The pool of water that was there basically was flash dried by the heat. There's only damp sand and strings of where the sand even got hot enough to compact into glass.
Mm-hmm. But Inos will explain the situation down here, finding the sea devils, finding the fucking the egg sacs, cleansed by purifying fire, burn, baby burn.
Yes.
But Inos will walk through the caves and show him the Star Chamber and the Coral Garden.
The Star Chamber, he's definitely very curious. Oh, this is. Yes, these are very rare to see these. To actually be inside the Mer settlement. These are very, very specific. He points out the because it was mentioned in the roof, though. It's called the Star Chamber because they have constellations there that are used by sailors for navigating. Yes, very curious, very curious.
Inos will also point to the triplicate figure of Deatas of Chilone and the many armed goddess, and inquire if he has any insight on this.
That he definitely kind of strokes his chin a little. Let me see. Sorry, I was chuckling at something I titled something later in my notes. It's not important right now.
This is where they die.
No, I'll tell you it later. But we're checking House Marfin. Okay, no, we do not have a separate stat block for Daria Korb, so he would have some student of religion. Let's have him go ahead and poly roll.
Poly roll.
I'm like, what's my denomination? 10s, D10s.
Did he
is that
straight?
fucking straight?
It's a fucking straight.
Wow. Okay, shows you that it doesn't just affect you guys. Yeah, he's definitely like stroking his chin and is like, he points out the obvious, like, you asked him about the others, but he points out the obvious. He's like, well, okay, so that's clearly, Vertum, the unnamed Sky Mother, and then, the Okeanos and his sister Tempestus and their younger siblings, with the Builder and the Woodlord. He is he asks for your opinion as the Iron Demon that the, horned and shark-mouthed figure is Dea Tacita.
Yes.
And then he's like, well, then that's probably, Chillone, obviously. She's opposite Tempesta. She has a crown of ice and an axe. The six-armed, multi-armed goddess, he's definitely like, yeah, I have never seen a depiction like that before. There are, of course, several, empty thrones we do not inquire about, but it is very, very odd, yes. I could ask my fellows in our records, perhaps.
I think.
The simplest would probably be to ask the Mer.
I think, well, Inos will chuckle. It's like, it's why I have reached out, but it's not the only thing I wish to show you. And, lead him to the coral chamber, past the skeletal remains of the guards.
Oh, yeah, those guys are still standing there, aren't they?
Well, no, after, Inos said they can rest, they all, slumped in position.
Right, they fell down.
Yes.
But what I mean is you have not policed them up.
No.
All right, yeah. He will remark, the shark leather, the bronze scales, again, they also talked about, talking about the coral. Yeah, these guys have coral bladed glaives, so you've already seen they do that.
Yeah.
So yes, he would remark that is like, that's very, very high quality, very ceremonial gear. And then, there's some mummies in there.
Yeah.
It's like, I see what you were saying. Yes. Kind of clasps his hand briefly and like bows his head, probably in a silent prayer, real quick.
Mm-hmm. Enos remains silent. Will remain silent.
Yes. But he kind of remarks on the structure of like, yes, this structure suits my understanding. They have ways to manipulate the corals and other features. Normally they do so underwater, but they appear to have done this to reinforce this cave. This is definitely a sacred space here.
Have we gone public with the places of power talk yet? I don't think we have we?
No, you discussed it to the private council. I mean, so that means Lady Marin was there. But you guys did not quite finish out a conversation about that publicly.
No, I think I could be enough vagaries without completely spilling. But Enos will basically explain that the exact chamber seemed to have something to it, and so he believes that Lorelei Rock was kind of a sacred site in general for the Mer, which is why they may have the Star Chamber, why they have this here, and Enos will reach into his pack and pull out the giant pearl, the artifact, and show it. Enos will explain that this was also here, but considering its value, Enos did not feel comfortable just leaving it in the area.
No, he totally gets that because, like I said, it's probably, if sold, would be worth wealth 7. So yes, he kind of nods and says yes. He raises a hand to be cautious, and he's like, I have learned to be diplomatic. In our records of what the Mer have told us of their own history, the Rock of Lorelei was their northernmost outpost They had several small settlements and seasteads in the shallows here. Actually, you would probably not know, as your people are not known for their love of the water. But uh, the land, he basically goes on to describe, continental shelf and shit.
Mhm.
Like, there's shore, but even when you've got relative safe depth for travel, you will away from islands, and then there will be, a steep drop off on the most distant, deepest oceans from Troy Corone. So where shit gets real blue, real dark.
Mm.
Even the Mer do not find that very easy to settle in those places, because those areas can go so deep underwater that, much like going underground, there's no natural light. And that is a thing that probably came up in discussing Mer culture. Mer do have slightly better eyesight for low light than humans do, but do not have proper dark vision. In fact, their sharpest senses are probably their sense of hearing and the fact that they can actually smell underwater, because they can, breathe it.
Okay.
So, even they do not go down to the, deep abyssal depths without support. But the according to the depth charts, basically, if you go south of Norlon, you have your sheer cliffs, and then you go into water. That should be pretty level, basically, water that then will slowly slope down to be very, very deep, and then eventually will start rising up again if you go straight south, because the cauldron is straight south of here. But there's a deep abyssal plain in the water between here, and basically the Mer had settlements dotted up and down that gentle slope, or right on the edge of that drop off, with Norlay Rock being allegedly their northernmost. It was supposed to be to the Mer, they mentioned it was a sacred site. It was a temple site, a sign of their unity of wind and wave. Because, yes, like I said, Okeanos is supposed to be winds and waves. Winds move waves, kind of a thing. Because there's no fucking way you guys are talking about about moons and tides and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But currents and things. So the seamount, the rock which rises out of the sea, was important to them. He will allude that he will. The phrase "place of power" wasn't used, but he will mention. I have heard some conversation from the Observatoire and the colleagues of Miss Starr about the theory of ley lines, and the head of my Lady Liege, the Baroness, has been inquiring lately about what our understanding of. Yeah, he would just say ley lines, and how that he would probably reference how that corresponds to sea currents and the like. Are you suggesting that perhaps this is a focal point, a connection for ley lines
Mhm.
in this area?
Inos will nod.
And then it was, and so he quietly looks around the room, studies the walls, strokes his own chin a little and goes, so this was a sacred space. The Mer knew it, and they have practiced rituals here, but they were forced to flee, which meant that the sacredness of this space would be occluded, corrupted, just like stagnant water. That corruption does not seem like it is very strongly here, but they have not been back to resanctify. Hon.
And it's like,
A trigger phrase for French.
sorry. And so Inos is like, yes, if possible. He's being slow and chewing his word kindly. I would like to make inquiries if the Mer would have any interest in resettling this area. Unfortunately, I do not know the necessary channels to do so. As you said before, I am not very familiar with the oceans, and we have not had myrrh in this region for quite some time. As we have stated, this was the most known. So, in that capacity, I reached out to the, well, best source that I could think of, which was the Baroness Marin, who then reached out to you, and you find, and that's how we find ourselves here. Also,
well, the proper protocol has been followed. He kind of laughs. The order will find no objections to how you've gone about this.
and it's like, and at the very least, Inos, holds up the reliquary chest with the artifact and gestures to the corpses. That's all like, I would like to see these returned to them.
No, that would be our policy. Yes. Well, I believe I mentioned this in my letter, but there is a point, a lighthouse point on Tron that is close to here. And I believe the old settlement of there's a fishing village. It has become slightly more famous since the appointment of your archbishop. But it is on records that the old station of Inisport was once a place where you could bespeak the myrrh. You could cast messages. I do not know if they are nearby there exactly. As we said, we work with the myrrh as our allies, but we do not keep track of where they are settled exactly, unless they be sure to inform us. You could, of course, go there and speak to their local priests, I'm sure, if they have had any relationship with myrrh. The Church of the Seven is supposed to remark on such things as part of the general organization of the Covenant. But he, it gives Enos kind of a knowing look and nods his head along and says, obviously, the priests of men do not always take that so seriously. They have the affairs of men to watch over, and if the myrrh are not coming out of the water to object to the local conduct of the fishermen, many locals just live and let live. So the earliest I could transmit such a message would be to go to that location. And I think he mentioned the place in Tron to you in a letter, so...
Yes, he did.
I'm not going to go dig it back up, but you know where he's talking about. And basically he'll explain that, the earliest he could be is after summer court, he can, request Marin take a detour, and he can go to that spot and basically drop the official messages of, hey, Lorelei Rock's cool again. You want to go look at it? And he would basically say, then the issue would be of being in contact with them. Obviously, they will survey on their own, but to speak with you, they would need an intermediate. He looks up in the direction of Castle Sjorberg and says, a mer could make the trip up the steps, but we would find mostly workers there. If the young Lord Konrad was already in residence, that would be very easy. If not, you may wish to place sentries at the quay. He raises a hand, kind of cautioningly. I think a daylight vigil would be fine. As I said, the mer do not have perfect night vision, and they know enough of the ways of men to know that they do not usually go about at night.
Okay.
You might also consider contacting whoever the headman, village chief of Inisport is, and perhaps your local parish priest, to keep an eye out as well. The mer may try that method first.
So, sentries here at Sjorberg, check in at Inisport. I think that those both can be easily enough done. Yes,
as I said, when the mer wish to contact people, it is usually very well known. You spot, as I said, baskets or bottles, assuming that they do not find it important enough, which he gestures around the room. They probably will, to appear in person. You should let your sentries know to keep an ear out for the singing. Mer can learn to speak Crownish well enough, and as I said, I can send messages myself, and may be able to arrange some long-distance communication. As I said, they have ways of communicating over vast distances with sorcery, much like wind witches do. So it would be relatively simple for me to bespeak my contacts and colleagues when back in the Islas and have them pass a message along to whoever is close up here. I will tell you that, as I said, Mer are not usually very good at literacy, so any written messages would have to be delivered to the appropriate parties over several days, and they will have to deliberate. I cannot imagine this is a thing that would require, even if this space is very sacred, I cannot imagine this would require the direct intervention of the Conch King, but the Council of Currents will have to debate the matter, I'm sure, amongst themselves. I do not know who they would send or how many. That is, as I said, this is very old history to them, just like it is to us. So we do not have a lot of precedent for this sort of thing.
Inos is just, like slowly nodding to
Yeah.
many of this, and so yes, gonna have to bring up with Konrad that.
Yes,
So-
Conrad did do a little prayer to Okeanos. And you guys have not been stationing sentries 24/7 down. Well, not even 24/7. He said during daylight hours, but yeah, you guys have not, I think, been stationing sentries like down at the key. So,
Probably not.
so nobody has noticed any doing anything. Later we can cut forward and back here if Inos or Conrad thinks to ask the workers if they've heard anything. They probably have not heard any Mersong or anything, but would in fact mention that they have not heard the many spooky sounds that Lorelei Rock is supposed to be known for, because the rock is supposed to be fucking haunted.
Okay, well that's
So no obvious sign of Mer activity, but also no sign of monstrous activity neither.
Let's go. Okay. Well, I guess the question is with the issue of the pearl. Does he want to take that to return it directly, or should that be something that we handle whenever we get in contact ourselves?
Daria kind of smiles a little, and nods to Enos and says, "Well, if you would prefer it not to be in your care any longer, I can take it and return it when I send my messages in Tron. But, as I said, the Mer, they prefer to speak personally when they are meeting such matters. I think it will mean more if you were to return it to them in person."
Enos will nod and put the pearl away then.
Yep.
Okay.
I can make note, if you do not mind putting it in writing, that you have recovered sacred artifacts, but as I said, they will appreciate and understand better what they can see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears.
Then let's do that. All right, but I think at this point of the conversation, I think we've gone over basically everything we can, and we have a game plan. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So the good South Wind will, deliver relevant messages. We will station sentries and probably do a little investigation into Inos ports, and see what comes of this in the future.
He will he'll put a message in the old Merfolk Dropbox, and they will start conducting operations. And yes, I did actually, because it is semi-important, because it is where your bishop was born. Inisport is on the map. That is a small fishing village in that little nook in the Unguis Peninsula, just south of Beckhamsburg. That's firmly in-house Gladwin's territory.
I might be able to kip over there during maybe after summer court.
At the very least, you can send some letters and the like.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's it for.
But yeah, it would be Inisport or Norport, yeah. And Lorelei Rock's up there, spooky as always.
We should do a pulse check on everyone else.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? We've been going for about 3 hours.
You're good.
3.5-ish.
I was muted because I had
Yeah,
an attack.
there's-
I'm also kind of dying.
Sorry.
Right,
Lost did have
Lost
a son.
losing his goo a little.
I'm a little gooped. I probably have to go in 30 minutes at least.
Well, then that means.
I mean, we're kind of at a good wrap, because our next point is to just jump straight to the technology fair, which will involve a lot of me talking at you to be like, here's what the fair is like.
I'm really excited
so
for
we
it,
can
but
just
I understand.
start the next session that way, because that would, probably put everybody in the right mood.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
yes. Any in that case then, before we call it a day, because I do think we had everybody had a productive session. Konrad, was there anything else you would want to talk to either Rena or anybody else you brought with you at Castle Sjorberg? Anything you want to see? Actually, this is a good question for both Inos and Konrad. Do you guys want to, because Konrad is the guy who's going to be based opposite the rock. Do you want to tell him any of the conversation right away, or would you leave that for a later meeting?
No. If we were to meet up, because we traveled here with Konrad, we probably travel back with Konrad, and Enos probably will find a moment to speak to Konrad on the issue. But I don't know if we necessarily need to roleplay it out.
Yeah, Konrad would definitely be concerned if you guys did not return by sunset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you're not gone that long.
No, so
Enos that conversation probably takes an hour tops. And genuinely, maybe an extra 20, 25 minutes of having to go up and down the stairs.
Yeah. But Enos would speak to Konrad and request that we put out sentries to daytime sentries to overlook Lorelei Rock, and to ask the workers if they hear anything and to report anything they see in the future, such as, strange things floating up from the water or singing. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I'll make sure there's at least a horse always here at the site in case they need to get a message to us at Stone Earth.
That's very smart.
Yeah, you can station a runner here, yeah. And make Daria Korb said, make sure the sentries know that they're keeping an eye out for Myr.
Yes.
So they're not surprised.
Myr sign.
Yeah. Maybe have them build a little stone kind of sentry hut down by the key, down at the base of the stairs.
Get a little
where at least the sentry can be out of the wind, and maybe have a stove in there and stuff like that.
He's probably gonna be getting hit by the fucking sea spray if he's down there specifically.
Yeah. Get him a little, not a literal shack, because it'll be slightly nicer than that. But yes, a base of operations. Right? Yeah, they'll find somebody. You can probably also, because he went on the trip, loop Leslok in as well about we probably need to consider sending some messages, or maybe taking a little gander down to Innisport.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also there was something I wanted to ask the Southwind on something of a more personal matter, but I was going to ask how familiar was he with the Baroness Marin?
Yes. Let me think about that.
Like I said, because I'm trying to get into...
He's probably a little surprised, but he's like, well, I've known her a decent amount. My lady wife is a close friend and ally of the house. I myself am he would mention that he comes up from with the I get you might say priestly stock, he has a long family history of wind witches, some of whom have been naval officers. So, actually, yeah, he may mention this to you as an aside. This would probably come up as well in later conversations with the Baroness, but I've been thinking about it. But so, culture-wise, I think we've mentioned this. The Eastlots don't have a lot of land to spare.
Yeah,
they are islands. So they're equivalent to giving bits of land to knights and lordlings and the like is usually captaincy. The boat is a sign of your authority and holding. If you are the captain and owner of a boat, that's a big deal. So Daria Korb does not come from a family of landed gentry, but he comes from a long line of captains, several of whom have been distinguished officers in the King's Navy and Wind Witches. He met Lady Sapir Korb, the head of that household, when they were both, in training to be, novitiates. And as is usual with Wind Witches, Wind Witchery is not necessarily guaranteed by the blood. But it's more likely. So, when... it don't hurt. So, when members of the banner and cadet houses of Marin, produce heirs who are wind witches. They are usually to avoid any sort of possible marriage demotion shenanigans. They are usually paired with appropriate members of the Ordo. Because normally, if you're a fully sworn priest, you gotta abandon names and marriage and all that sort of stuff. The Order of the Navigators older than the current Reformation of the Church of the Seven. They're very, very old. Technically, they're like the Navigator was the original Marin's husband, so like they're pre-covenant kind of. So like they play a little fast and loose with the rules. Sorry, I just thought I have to say the joke. They're more like guidelines anyway. But yes, so he is from a house that in other high houses would be considered minor nobility, equestrians, knights, that sort of thing. So he's not like a close personal friend of the Baroness, but he is married to one of the Baroness's close personal friends. So, he would say that, he thinks he knows his lady fairly well.
How do I want to ask this question?
The all-important role-playing quiz.
Yeah.
It haunts me forever.
Because Inos basically wants to ask if the Baroness burdens herself too much.
Ooh, that is a very specific question.
Like, I want to phrase it in a way... No, fuck it, I'm rolling, like, we're not gonna, like...
Yeah, roll perform.
Yeah, we're gonna roll perform.
This would be a Grace's role to politely ask this question, so you roll perform, so roll it. Yeah, I was leading into that. I wanted to know your intent, though.
Yeah, no.
Because, yeah, you're trying to ask, if she burdens herself. Specifically, I assume your Inos is thinking about the past.
Yes. Like I said...
But yes, this would normally call for a Charm plus Grace's roll, because you are asking a delicate question politely. Three twos? Is that the only set? It is.
Yeah. So it's probably still a little rude, but I would assume that it still seems a little rude, but Corb can probably see that I don't actually mean any harm by it or something.
Yes, you I mean, obviously this is your, what is the name of the level that gives you? Is this Romantic Outlaw Charm? Or is that a different one?
It's in that fucking school. Hang on, let me...
It's in that tree. I'm just like, I don't remember the exact technique, but yes, this...
Yes, it is Romantic Outlaw Charm.
Okay, so yeah, Enos's style is technically to be a little over the top and be maybe a little rude, but to be so in such a way that people do realize that you're being genuine and either you don't mean anything by it, or, you ask it in such a dashing, roguish way that they're not put off by it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he picks up on your intention. I did not assign a difficulty, and if I wouldn't anyway, because it's just this is just a normal application of graces. You are using an esoteric to cheat. Mm-hmm. As you do with esoterics. That's what they're for. But yes, he kind of, nods along and has been like, probably gets a sigh and says, I will answer your question with another question. I myself am not very close with the new Marquess of the House of Logi, but you have been of his household for many years. The young lord, does he seem often burdened by the past and the rigors of his position?
Inos is going to be, uncharacteristically silent about that for a moment. And just, nod and look away.
And he will say, then, yes, it is... I will not say it is the same burden, but it is similar for my lady, the Baroness. She has been in her position for some decades longer than the young Leslok has, and has racked up additional responsibilities with her position as the Lady Admiral, as while not formally the head of my ordo, but the Order of the Navigator does traditionally report to the House Marin. And of course, she is a mother of 3. And, well, I personally make no comments about it. There are some in the Islas who would comment on the issue of parentage. But she has been, in that regards, alone. And so, yes, I would say that she has a fair share of burdens on her plate. In the Islas, we try to make light of such things. It is wind on your back, waves beneath your feet. But time and tide wears away at things. Kind of taps the side of his nose. So, yes, I think to answer Enos's question, he's like I said, you ask in kind of a jaunty, direct way. He responds in kind of a similar, not as jaunty, but still kind of very direct way. And it's basically like, well, you know a head of a house. Does he seem footloose and carefree? No. The answer is no, chat. He is not footloose and carefree.
That is forward is very hard, is very heavy on my head and my neck and my shoulders.
The Baroness is also burdened with similar responsibility, and also she has been a sitting member of the King's Council as, the head of the King's Navy, and also is a mother of 3. And some other shit. So yeah, no, she has lots of things to think about. If you are perhaps, Daria will kind of, politely but a little directly respond. If you are perhaps wondering why my lady is sometimes, well, the phrase we would use below decks or in the Hall of the Aspirants, a little salty. As you cannot go anywhere without getting a little bit of salt on you. Yes, I think that is her position means that she often has to make many decisions, and she cannot be as free and backed by the wind as you might expect from the impressions of her house.
I forget, did his lady wife come along as well?
No, not unless you specifically went out of your way to invite her. I mean, actually, yes, she is here at the summer court, but she is not on this trip.
No, yeah, at summer court. Okay.
Yes, she is present, as is their son, Niles.
Okay.
He is all but the Wind Witch genetics plan worked. By the way, he is a Wind Witch.
Woo! Okay.
He, I believe, is not attuned like Alarion Marin. He is not a prodigy at Wind Witchery. Alarion Marin's very good.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's enough for this conversation. I got an idea, so.
Yeah, I didn't say it out loud yet, but I was thinking of reading that and like, okay, so Inos is considering his approach for the future. All right, yes. So you guys, you row back, by which I mean he rows back. Actually, can he? I think he can technically, no matter how long the rowboat trip, well, he might need sails, but he could cast, the Wind Witch spell to go faster, make it so your rowboat ride is never more than 5 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
But speed it along. But you row back, you go up the steps. He is attuned and is full attuned. So guess what? He does not get short of breath. By the way, that's actually one of the powers of perfect Wind Witch attunement. You can hold your breath for 30 minutes. You cannot be strangled.
Impressive. Also,
you can't breathe underwater indefinitely, but your breath control and breath reserves are so strong that it's like, no, you can't strangle a Wind Witch.
Honestly, that sounds like a thing that would be a twist in like a fucking detective serial or something.
Well, I imagine
strangulation.
If you probably can technically strangle a Wind Witch, but at that point you're just broken their neck and crushed their windpipe.
I mean, yeah, you could. The strangling versus choking, is the difference there. But the using the maneuvers in combat to strangle or choke, where you try and do shock damage to the head by cutting off their airflow, is like that doesn't work so good because their airflow is like I said, they can hold their breath for 30 minutes. So you in a combat sense, you would be much better just punching them in the head than trying to do something fancy. You can still kill them, of course. Then, like I said, they can technically be suffocated if you remove all air. But yeah, so he doesn't get short of breath.
Brad.
To remind everybody, the mystical trade-off is you are weak to specifically rock salt, so it causes them shock damage, like how fairies are burned by iron. And this is important because we were discussing counterspelling out of character earlier. If you seal a Wind Witch in a circle of rock salt, all of their spells are effectively automatically counterspelled. They cannot cast outside the circle until the circle is broken. And if they want to break the circle, they have to take a little bit of shock damage. They have to burn their footsie or fingies. Sorry, it was me leaning back. But yes, okay. You guys return up the ladder. You come in the carriage ride home. You confer some of this information to Konrad. And to Leslok, probably by extension, since he also came on this trip.
Yeah.
You guys return to Stone Hearth. Anybody got any business before the tech fair they want to get out of hand? Any meetings they want to have? I know Loth said that he's feeling the goopin', so I don't think
Probably after the
Logesh won't
tech
jump
fair,
too
honestly.
much. Okay, that's okay. The fair will probably go by at a fairly robust clip. To remind everybody, the Norlon fair will basically be, I will introduce it. I have some. I'm pretty sure every one of you has said you will be willing to at least go down there and see what's going on. Inos, for instance, has not spent much time with his good friend
Barak.
Zikr.
Yes.
I was going to say his letter's the wrong way around. But you know that he is going to be at the fair presenting, so there's a few other things, and one of those days
presenting at the fair. Didn't I say I was presenting at the fair? I could have sworn
I think you mentioned you might do some stuff.
I was showing off my arm.
There will be like lectures and things. Oh, and you want to discuss your arm too? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'm keeping note.
It is not just a lifeless limb, I would point out.
Well, yeah, it's true. You very specifically had it crafted out of specific materials and then casted lifeless limb upon it.
Yeah.
No, it is not rocket piece, sadly, yet.
No, not yet.
Barrel.
I just wrote this down to be clear, but it's like I'm fine moving the
Yeah,
meeting
yeah.
around, but it just has to happen the week.
Yeah, you want it to happen in that week. That's okay. But like I said, the fair part will go pretty quick because, like I said, it will probably just be I'm going to describe the general vibe of the fair. I have specific booths that people are going to want to show you, and then I have a random chart for when you are walking around.
Rad. I love
Because
random
some of you
charts.
will be walking around the fair.
I want to trigger the chart
Random-
twice.
random
I want to trigger the
charts.
chart
Awesome.
twice.
You go a lot. See what's up. And then the other thing I was going to say, was that I know exactly which. The omniscient Omega knows specifically one day of the week is going to be Aramita's hot air balloon demonstration. Off the top of my head, I don't remember which day that is, but one of the days in the week she's going to be demonstrating the hot air balloon, which will probably be like the big centerpiece event. And then the end of the week is the gala. You have a midsummer gala. By the way, I want to before we go all the way through, because we might run all the way to the start of that next time, depending. Our Inos, this is a social event that you did plan. Are you sticking to your rule of 5 invites per house plus a +1?
Sorry, I'm actually rethinking.
Yes, he's thinking.
I'm thinking about that.
Because currently that puts you at about 90 with 10 slots free, which you did not explicitly set aside for the all the kindred who came, but did leave the room for it, and presumably you would want to extend some number of those invitations to the fairy delegation.
Yeah.
But your previous plan was about 90-ish to 100 people.
Let's drop it down to 4 plus guests, and we can use the extra space to invite some we'll use that space to invite the fairy delegation and some additional kindred.
All right, make sure the kindred delegations are included. Okay.
Yeah.
You yourself included your house in this, so who in this team doesn't get an invitation? Or is
Nicola.
Inos going to use executive privilege, just be like, I don't have an invitation, I'm throwing the party?
Actually, no, that sounds even better. Yes, no, I don't get an invitation. I'm one of them fucking running it.
You're hosting. I'm hosting.
Wait, am I not invited? Seriously?
I was about to say you weren't invited, but no, Enos, I'm not Enos. Omega gave me the perfect out.
Yes.
You have to be the +1 to like your original family.
But no, Nicola gets an invite.
Well, also, no. Once again, to remind you, Axe, Lucky. The plan is now for High House.
Okay, gotcha.
So, very very limited news. That's good. That means I can think about over the week about who will actually be using those invitations and the +1s.
Narissa has an invite, but I guess Kepis be a
Well, her
+1?
house has an invite. They pick.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
choose her to be your +1 and simplify that for Top Row.
True.
Yes. Like I said, this is why I want this gala to have a lot of people, but I don't want everybody.
There. This keeps it around to like 30, 40 people plus staff.
Oh God, no!
No.
closer to
It's four per house. So 4 times 9.
36.
Well, actually, 8 times 9 because they got a +1.
+1, yeah.
The original was 90-ish. So.
All right, so it's gonna be about 80 to 90 people.
And
plus
then
staff.
we're gonna fill up to probably 100 with kindred invites.
Yes.
So
invite your family. Or invite your dad. Or
well,
one of the other princes that probably
Actually,
fits
no.
more.
This will be perfect because the
moving it
High
up,
King
yeah.
talked about it with you, and you talked about moving up the Iron Demon delegation. So the delegation will take those votes or those invites.
Yeah.
Which may involve some cousinry of Enos. We don't know. We haven't met those guys yet. They'll probably
Enos
show
is
up during the
magical
fair.
cousin.
Sorry.
but yes, no.
No, it's okay. We're getting late. We're wrapping up. Yeah. Well, I will ask more about that during the week, and like I said, I will. It's in my notes to crunch the numbers on invites and figure that out, because that will. It's just created a very exclusive event. It's going to be in the society page the next day. Who's who?
Mm-hmm.
Would be in the paper.
So obviously the crew now needs to think about who their +1s are,
Yes.
because you better use your +1s. It's strategic as fuck. But I think that's a good point to
Who's gonna invite Amrita?
to
What?
sorry, I accidentally muted myself. I'm clicking around.
That's the worst idea ever that I'm not going to do. Sorry.
Well,
The
share with
fairy
class,
cream
'cause,
will get her own, I swear.
I know. I'm
Don't you fucking
what
dare.
Could I cause? I know. Nicola would never actually do that. Dallas thought about it because I'm an asshole, but
Yeah, I hate that I
Yeah,
immediately
that's
knew
not
what you
about it
were
because it
thinking.
was funny.
exactly.
All right.
Do a
Okay.
little drawing.
So that is the wraps. All right. Good session, everybody. Make sure to jot down. You get 1 XP for showing up. We did actually have moments of in-character discussion from everybody. The meeting was much more inclusive this time around. So 1 there. And
Sure.
hey, anybody finish any maybe?
I finished the mission. I established the Atoll Club. And
Mine won't be done until I think the months over. If like the cover court where it's seen as successful.
that's why I'm fucking hanging.
Yes, it's true.
Yes,
But
in time.
at the very least, that means you get bonus dice whenever you need it. Yes, in time.
True.
It is established. It is not
complete till
ready, but it's
after the
established.
tourney.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
you're
Very
working on
end of the
training.
journey.
Outside. Please cool me down.
Poor Loth is just praying for cooler weather.
Oh god, Loth, if I could, I'd
All
send you this.
right.
I
I
sent you
didn't
this fan
need
you
to
put
roll my
ice
R's
cubes
that many
in and, like,
times, but I
and, like, it
did.
does, like, ice
That's
water
the end of
fans.
the session. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and stuff. We'll be back with you for more rain next time. The fair. There will be a hot air balloon.